the deer mount. Awesome. Oh, he's here. I was looking at a dark screen and I realized it was sync screen. So picking up from where we left off, you guys came to Absalom Station, wandered about a bit, made some friends. Some of you made better friends than others, especially in the case of Acosta and Rin. You guys made the best friend you've ever had, Master Hallison, who really gave you the warm opening welcome to the temple that you guys so rightfully deserved. Some side session stuff happened. Some people did shopping, some people did drinking, getting to know one another, preparing for whatever the next leg of this adventure is going to be. And obviously, we ended with, once again, Costa falling unconscious. But this time, because he cut off his own arm, believing himself to be the source of a Dead Man Signal episode. Acosta, what's going through your head right now as you sleep?
Probably pain.
As you sleep, you're not in pain.
Oh.
Not physical pain.
I mean, still pain.
Phantom pain.
I thought I'd probably be like kind of in like a position, like almost like he would almost imagine himself like a jellyfish, but instead of the tentacles pointing like downward, they point in every direction. And instead of it being like actual like okay, I have a point. Instead of it being like instead of it being like a physical thing, it's just the sort of reaching out, prodding. Anything that gets too close.
How your audio quality is garbage.
It's almost like I'm on a phone.
Is the computer not up yet, Sophia? I'm just gonna open my door.
So like basically I was thinking like think of it like you know how jellyfish if you get too close to them you get stung by the tentacles things. Imagine that, but it's like the source, and anything that gets close to Acosta right now, he kind of wants to lash out and be like, nope, no more pain, no more pain. I'm by myself. Nothing can get close because I'm not gonna let you.
Okay, you can go sit back down now. Gotta lock that back out. Okay. As that starts, pretty sure. Yes, you guys did end up buying a game. So if a board game that actually does have some mechanical benefits. So if everybody is going to be pitching in for that, if everybody could now on your sheets mark off 237 credits.
If you're one of the original 4 and you marked it down for the price for 4 people, mark it up by that same amount.
Yeah, I was gonna say I already marked it down 500, so I'll mark it up a bit then.
I'll mark it down for Acosta.
I waited to see how many people would get in on it.
Okay. Sounds like they're still spinning up in there. We'll give them a second, because there is something interesting happening. Also, out of curiosity, there, Kilo, did you end up texting him or no?
I texted him. No response.
Okay. We got a limited time to work on, so I'm just going to progress forward. V, where did you go to sleep?
I mean, probably with the rest of the group. I don't know if we were staying
so
at the
wherever the
Starfinders.
Lore Spire complex, then.
Yeah.
Okay. You're resting. Oh, there they are. You're resting peacefully when there's this noise, this rumbling that starts kind of getting your attention. Now that they're actually there, Acosta, jellyfishing, lashing out at anything coming too close to you kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but with
Okay.
I can't
As
hear
you
anything
rest-
that Sophie is saying.
She might have just been talking to him.
Ephraim.
We're talking about.
And
Ephraim
Yeah,
is
she was just
listening
talking.
in.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Where are the things that I wanted? Acosta, you are in a place without pain right now. You are like a very confused, very scared little turtle who has pulled into his shell. But this turtle's got tentacles and it's lashing out at anything getting too close to it. And you feel a presence. Something close to you. Something that doesn't care about the tentacles that are lashing out to it, but it's warm enough. It's warm enough that you let your guard down a little bit in this unconscious state. And it's warm enough that it takes you as a bit of a surprise when it touches you and it's so cold. And you feel this hand on your subconscious mind. And a voice leaning in to whisper to you, I hope you learned something from that. And you recognize the voice of Liliana. And immediately you crack your eyes open and you go to swing, punch. You think that there's a blade in your hand, but there's nothing. You just swing with an open hand. You open your eyes and find yourself in a hospital, and you find that the arm that you had cut off is there. But there's just, hey, look who it is. But there's just, I love your hair and I love your glasses.
what are you, Pandora?
And the
Hell
arm
yeah.
that's there is just metal and cold. And it's not good. It's kind of shitty. But you look around trying to gauge, get abreast of the situation, and you realize it's a temporary prosthetic. You can see that it literally says property of Absalom Mercy Hospital. And it looks like they're letting you rent it until a more permanent arrangement can be gathered. Which you're sure, undoubtedly, knowing who your people are, it's on the way. But it's kind of weird, because as you look at your hand, you bring your fingers down, and as you try to extend them back up, they just keep going in the opposite direction until it doesn't hurt, though, but it just looks like a backwards fist on the other side. And you're like, huh.
Like that one scene in Logan?
Yes, perfect frame of reference. The fingers flip in the opposite direction, then come back around again. And you're like, that's kind of neat. You're not in pain at all. You look down at the arm the location that you had cut it off at, and it looks genuinely okay. They clearly cleaned it up. They took the flesh away. They seared everything exactly as it needs to be. There is now, in the place where your bone once was, a socket for a new prosthetic to be put in. When you breathe, you start running over. I'll send you the sheet right now. You start running over in your head everything that just happened, everything that had just transpired. 1 second, Costanza. You can have it now. Okay. And as you're sitting there and as you're thinking about this and you're looking around, you hear a noise outside. And you feel your heart. You think for a moment, oh fuck, are those gunshots? Are those
there
gunshots
any
outside the hospital?
Are there,
And
any,
then, say again?
are there any weapons in the hospital room that I'm in? Like
You
a
pick up
spell?
your bedpan, you lift it, pee sprays all over the floor. You're like, ugh, and you run up to the window, and you look out the window, and what you see outside is flashes and bursts of light. You see fireworks exploding all over the city. As I mentioned previously in the last session, Absalom Station is not your typical space station where there is an interior and there is a roof above you. The way that this upper level is set up, the generator, the Star Stone, is so powerful that Absalom Station actually has an air shell, meaning when you look up, all you see is space. It's like you're on a street and it's the night sky above you, but it's all of space. And you watch as these fireworks fly up and explode in a myriad of different colors. Go ahead and make a perception check. One sec.
Topical fireworks.
You rolled 16. With the 16, there are people dancing out on the streets, celebrating. There are vendors set up. It's real early in the morning to be exploding shit, first of all. It's like 8 a.m., but shit's exploding already, and it's too early for that. There's food and drink. Say again?
These assholes fucking woke me up.
Yeah, there's food and drink being passed out on the streets. There is ruckus celebration. There is robots dancing in the street that are carrying, look like mortar tubes on their backs that are also firing out fireworks as they're walking down the street, doing little dances as just explosives are being launched out of their bags. And it's gorgeous. With the 16, you notice that across many buildings, being carried by many individuals, and even in the pictures that are being projected by some of the fireworks, there's a recurring symbol of a rose. Bright red, vibrant rose. You turn around real quick, you feel okay, you're ready to leave, in all actuality, and you turn around and you see on the side table where you sit, there is a nice little box that has been wrapped with a big pink bow.
Can I pick it up with my maid pin?
Okay, you levitate it up. You're going to levitate the top off as well?
Yeah, I'll undo the entire knot. And
okay, you undo the knot, the box flips open, and the item inside is a brand new phone.
I'll immediately start setting up all of my profiles.
Okay. You start setting up the phone. You see that the background is one of the hottest movie stars of this generation, permanently emblazoned as the background. You're like, that's weird. That's weird. You set up. You try to open up the phone, and it's like fingerprint not recognized. You're like, you start trying all your fingers. And you're like, it's gonna be really fucked up if it's the fingerprints of my right hand. That would be that. And so you're trying with your left hand, and then you don't know why it comes to mind, but you kind of just put it under your shirt and you put your nipple on the button and it opens up. So you pull it out and you continue with your progress of resetting all of that stuff up. It's running dreadfully slow, just pretty slow. But you notice that there's like a chain around the outer edge of it where it's like, this is a super secure phone. That's the impression that you're getting. Everybody else over at the Lore Spire complex is beginning to rouse around this time with the sounds of explosions. Again, some of you, especially people like Sig, people like V, start to roll out of bed, groggily reaching for weapons and getting ready to swing at something as a bomb just goes off out your window. Kilo, you shoot up, ready for combat, ready to fight anything. Rin, you're just in a constant state of ready to kill anything, so that's not much different, but you're ready. And you guys start waking up. God bless you. What would you guys like to do?
How long do we have on the station before we leave at this point?
You guys were going to take most of this day and probably leave around the evening, if that sounds accurate to everybody.
Okay.
I feel like I've already planned out all of my time with everything I did in out-of-session stuff.
Basically, yeah. I will say, Acosta, there was stuff purchased for you, so you have all of the items for your pet, who you do not see in the hospital room with you.
Is it because animals aren't allowed in the hospital?
Probably because animals aren't allowed in the hospital, so you don't know who has it.
Do I have all my contacts set up?
In the phone?
I'm immediately gonna text the group and say, "Hey, where's my dog?"
Nobody in the group has your dog.
What dog? Oh, the corgi.
Acosta, this is why you shouldn't have a pet.
It's
The
almost
last
like,
place you remember seeing that dog was the temple.
Oh, right.
Guys,
the
is there
game.
anyone in the temple? I kind of don't want to be alone right now.
Actually, I was
Honestly,
going to
you wa-
ask you if I could go with you. I wanted to check it out myself, so this gives me an excuse at least.
You held on to the dog about like 3 hours more than I thought you would, and I think you only had it for 2.
That's just lame. I'm taking myself out of this box. Can I open the
Okay,
window?
so you begin getting yourself out of the hospital. Give me 1 second as I set something up.
Damn, am I
Okay,
rested?
Yes, you are rested. Everybody has the benefits of a long rest. Just gonna roll something real quick. Pandora, waking up in the morning to the sounds of festivities and all this good shit. You've never actually seen a festival of this caliber. Where you had lived, this wasn't really anything that you kind of saw. It was more country club vibes kind of thing, and that they're not about the big parties and this sort of stuff. Do you have proficiency in culture?
God no.
God no.
I mean,
Go ahead and make a culture check anyway.
what
Which, if you
would
don't
the-
have proficiency, just make a wisdom check.
6.
6. This is a fucking banger, and it's time to go bang.
Hell
Go ahead and
yeah.
roll a D100 for me.
Let's go bang! How hard we banging?
How hard are we banging? Middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack banging.
That's interesting. Okay. You start heading outside the Lorespire complex, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. As you pull up your phone to take a look at it, even the background of your phone seems to have been changed. There is an overlay in the background of a beautiful red rose with bursts of sparkling light behind it. And after a couple of seconds, it goes away to your normal background.
This is only funny when I do it to Acosta.
You head out onto the street. You see a couple of Starfinders who are heading through. One of them looks at you and says, "Hey, happy Liberation Day." Keeps moving on. Another one to you says, "Hey, how you doing?"
Cool. Free the titty? Liberation Day.
Sure. Oh, yeah, no, today's the big Milani holiday.
Right.
You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, huh?
No.
You're new around here?
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you
Will
the
you show
quick
me a good
run-up.
time?
Fuck yeah, come on.
Okay.
Takes your hand immediately and starts running off with you. Doesn't explain much of anything because you said let's have a good time and he just ran with it before you changed your mind.
Fuck if I care about cultural significance.
Hell yeah. You run into the crowd, go fucking around. Immediately, as soon as you leave the complex where guards are still posted but are just kind of dancing a little bit to the music, there is a merchant on the corner who says, "Haven't seen your face today, which means first one is free," and hands you a beautiful red rose and gives it to you. But you notice as he's handing it to you, his hands are drenched in blood. Like just dripping all over the ground.
I feel like you know this. So this could be like a health issue.
Oh yeah, no, this is fine. And he points to the bucket of blood on the ground.
Okay, there's something I'm missing. So you dip your hand in blood and give people rose?
You look at his tabard, like because he's wearing an actual tabard, and this is the image that is sewn into it.
That is very goth, and I love it.
Oh, this? Yeah, no, thanks. Are you familiar with the faith?
Which
Do you
one?
know who
Just
Milani
kidding?
is?
No.
Okay, no, that's fair. Well, I'm with the Church of Milani. Well, Milani, depending on who you talk to, but I like Milani. So never heard of it before or nothing? I'm not trying to indoctrinate you or nothing, but I figured give you context for the day, yeah?
I mean, I guess it depends what their whole thing is, because if it's like dancing naked in the forest, then I'm all game.
Not quite. So, before the vanishing, there was a big pantheon of gods, and we forgot a lot of them. And one of them happened to remain, who, thank the goddess, you know what I mean? Her name is Milani. So, have you ever, maybe you heard of her before? She's also called the Everbloom. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, she is the goddess of rebellion. She's the goddess of rising up to fight oppression and unjust rule. So she is the patron saint of rebels, and her symbol is a rose that grows out of a blood-soaked street.
You know, it sounds very cool.
Always that there's hope, that the blood of rebels can spawn new hope, new life.
So she's kind of like a rebel with a cause kind of thing.
Yeah, but she's a rebel
I
for
don't
any
need a
cause
but that's
just.
cool.
Well, any cause that's just. And, you know, there are some nations where we don't go out and celebrate like this. You know, he kind of just looks around like he's uncomfortable talking about it. Like, we don't ever help the Veskarian kind of thing because they don't rebel for good reasons. It's only for people who fight for freedom. She's a goddess of freedom, basically. So her whole portfolio is like hope and devotion and uprising, and her worshippers are like freedom fighters and stuff like that. But every 4th of July we get together and we blow shit up because that's what freedom's all about. It's about blowing shit up. It's about rebellion. It's about fighting for good causes and, you know, helping up the downtrodden. So Absalom Station recognizes the gods and their holidays, so big celebration today. Don't trust anybody who's trying to sell you roses. If they're trying to sell you roses, they're trying to give you bullshit, right? Because the roses are for
Just
everyone.
free
Hope
roses.
is for everyone. Yes, the free roses.
Two things. One,
Yeah, sure.
whose blood is that? And two,
Oh, this is
where
all
can
synthetic.
I blow shit up?
This is all synthetic because obviously, you know, health concerns. He picks it up, licks it. He goes, tastes like frosted. You want to try some?
Hell yeah.
Offers you
take
the
a
blood bucket. It has the same fucking, like, everything is blood, but you're like,
She has
Holy
like her
shit, that is-
expandable cup and like
Yeah.
takes it and puts a straw in it and is just sipping
it genuinely tastes like strawberry frosting.
it. Great. I needed more sugar this morning.
And what was your second question?
Where can I go to blow shit up?
Well, there's lots of like fireworks and pyrotechnics and stuff going on right now, but if you personally want to blow stuff up, I would recommend heading over to the Eye, the big garden. There's lots of booths and stuff up there where you could fire a few candles off and that kind of thing.
Anywhere, like, is it all regulated?
I mean, he looks around again. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
13?
He's like, I'm not supposed to say things like this, but I see that you're a Starfinder, and I see that, you know, you must have the credentials if you are one. So if you're looking for, like, an unregulated good time, you could try heading down the Spike a little bit. I hear a word that, you know, there may be some more exciting things happening down in, like, the Sparks and Bot Scrap and stuff like that, but I don't know nothing about that, and you didn't hear it from me. He says, flipping his name badge around before you've even read it.
Oh no, of course not. Never met you before. And she'll pin the rose to her hat and
Beautiful.
and whatever way he directs me, and then text the group, I'm gonna go illegally blow shit up. Come see ya."
No context. People are still looking up what the fuck is happening. On roll the check. Okay. Kilo, you get that text. You've been looking out the window, gathering in the festivities. You have some context for what today is. You have heard of it, and it is a holiday that the Church of the Bountiful Harvest also recognizes, because at its core of Sayanin's teachings, it is about hope, and Milani is a goddess of hope on some level. But they don't go all out like this, but they will be respectful and not like they let people use the church if that's what they need, kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I still had getting my I think it was faceplate, arm, and chest plate checked out by some arcane users.
Okay. Do you want to try checking out the Arcana Miriam, the big techno magic academy?
I tried to look in house at the church first, but if there was anybody around, I would get.
The church doesn't actually, surprisingly enough, have a ton of techno magic users. At least none that are here. The best techno magic users for the church at the Battle of the Harvest are typically out in the field, where their skills are more useful. They don't keep a good repertoire here, so they do recommend finding a private mechanic or trying the Arcana Miriam, but don't get your hopes up because it is like a huge backlog of shit that they have to do.
Right.
Can I get you to roll a D100 as well? Ooh, 96. Give me one moment. $96. Just double checking something. Sorry, my lists are all fucked up right now. Okay, 96 generally not bad at all, just high on the list. No, you're good, V. Heading towards the recommended location of the Arcana Miriam, as you're heading off in that direction, you start to hear this noise that kind of stops you in your tracks a little bit. It's a combination of grinding, popping, and then the slight, faint undertones of that song you keep hearing every time the dead man's signal goes off. That repeat song. And you stop to turn and look, and you see the Click Clack Club. You had heard of it previously. It was mentioned by the guide who was helping you guys out. And you know that the Click Clack Club is an area really heavily devoted to techno pleasures of various kinds. It is a club that pretty much almost exclusively serves SROs, androids, and heavily augmented creatures with cybernetic enhancements who normally can't feel pleasure anymore. They provide that in various ways. There are also big VR gaming tournaments that happen in there and all sorts of stuff like that. For whatever reason, it catches your attention hard.
Sounds like a place of vile scum and villainy. I'm gonna keep on rocking, but I'll make note of it.
Take me!
Let's go!
I'll take a picture and send it to Pandora.
Okay, you do that.
That's where Sig would go to pick up a date.
Sig, let's go. Let's go to this
Straight up dumping the guy you said, like, take me somewhere. On second thought, screw you.
Hell yeah.
Just kind of close some of these tabs so I don't have a million open. But yeah, you start heading towards the Arcana Miriam, which let me try to set the scene for you a little bit here. So it is a. Have you ever seen what Harvard University actually looks like in real life?
No.
It has very distinct Victorian style architecture with these high buttresses, these massive archways. Think of one of the, if you had to imagine in your mind's eye the world's most prestigious academy for higher learning. Okay, now put another one on top of it, and feed it crack. This is what this place is. There is a constant energy about this place that is not technological in nature. This place is distinctly magical. This place looks like somebody parked Hogwarts in the middle of Night City. It is cyberpunk immediately clashes with a wizard, and they got into a fist fight, and this was the resulting fallout of what happened, where everything is sleek metal and glass and high arches and twisting Mobius strips. This is stone and mortar and the effort of ancient cultures who have built this place from the ground up, and it will goddamn stay that way, and nobody's gonna fucking change it. But it is beautiful. They do outfit this external skeleton with more technological pieces like a security checkpoint, bollards to help traffic go through, directional lights, etc. This is the place that teaches science like that teaches magic like it is science, and in many ways it is. As you're walking up to the door, there are two almost, again, to use another England example, they almost look like Queen's Guard, the guardsmen with the red uniforms and the tall hats, where instead of the tall rounded hats, they are very wide-brimmed classical wizard hats that go up and then tilt at the top, that are emblazoned with many different sigils, and their armor, so to speak, are these flowing robes that hug the body well. But you can see there is no face on either of them. In fact, it is just smooth porcelain. And as you walk up to them, you notice that the porcelain begins to divot, like it has eyes and a mouth, and a face begins to form. And you see both of them take on the appearance of just a very familiar male figure to you. Go ahead and make a history check.
So this is already starting to sound familiar.
God, you know that face. You know it somewhere. And before you can ask a question, they one sec. They look to you.
Good morning, sir. Happy Liberation Day to you. How are you this evening?
And you realize both the voices are talking at the same time. It's just coming at you from two sides. They have their arms neatly folded behind their back, and there is a staff that is just resting, standing next to them, but they don't touch it.
Is entry prohibited?
Entry is not prohibited. However, we must ask, do you have an appointment?
I do not.
What is the purpose of your visit?
Curiosity.
This is an institution of learning and curiosity after all, and we would never fault one such as yourself for searching for answers in a place like this. Perhaps there is something we can help you with before we allow you entry. May you state the nature of your query?
I am curious if I am technologically... That's not the right word. Techno-magical in origin.
We will send a note ahead to the engineer's office to have a look at you. However, I must warn you, there may be a wait list upon your arrival. Secondly, if it is quite all right with you, we do request that there are no weapons on campus.
I see.
We can hold these weapons for you, and will happily return them upon any exit from this facility.
Alright, send a text message out to the group that this is what I'm doing and where I'm at. And I start the lengthy process of disarming myself.
Okay.
Where are you actually? What's the name of this institute?
The Arcanameria.
Okay.
You start disarming, and every time you hand a gun to them, the instant that they touch it, it just disappears in a flash of light.
Slight concern, if I could show concern, is on my face.
the one of your faceplates sinks down like it's an eyebrow.
We assure you, sir, they are safe. We have simply moved it to a negative space.
He just nods. And he then holds up he just desockets his left arm and holds it up.
Desock the left arm. They cock their head.
There is no need for you to disarm, sir. Please put it back in your socket and we will assist.
Okay. They put it in the socket. One of them comes up to you with kind of just looks like a ribbon, a paper band, which they wrap around your wrist. They tie it off, and it becomes a solid metal link that you can't really slip off very easily, and there's some runes on it, but you notice that there is not that you feel tingling sensation, but there is an energy flowing through your arm right now. Not painful, not damaging in any way.
This prevents any sort of transformative properties if you have any of your arm. If you have the ability to engage any weaponry from your arm or any tools that you currently have, they will not be of access to you until you leave. We are sorry for the inconvenience.
He just looks at his arm and goes okay.
All right, and you begin heading inside. We'll see where that goes. V, you're out and about, waking up. What would you like to do?
There are a couple things we would like to do. One of them is go to the temple, and the other is to meet up with Sig and possibly Ephraim to get a DNA test. But if we're out in the city, I'd probably look for Acosta after he messaged us, and maybe Ren.
Okay.
And try going to the.
I'll get to you. Okay. Then I'll get to you and Acosta in 1 second. Rin, what about you?
Just make sure you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Making sure. I would still be at the temple. I heard I was going to sign up with the Ardent Sentinels. They offered me a physical and whatnot, so I'd be sticking around until they had a space open for me to do that.
Okay, well, they'd be pretty excited just to have anybody say yes. So as far as the physical goes, they start pretty quick. As they're getting ready and they're running your background to make sure everything's okay, they're getting ready to set up for a sparring ring. And you're like, okay, yeah, I could do this. I could do one-on-one combat. One of them grabs the side of their helmet as they're getting ready and just snaps to their partner to wait a sec, listens. That one looks to you and says,
Do you call yourself Rin, you said?
That is correct.
Rin from the Finders Keepers, Rin?
That is our unfortunate designation.
Consider the physical not needed. Or the verbal test. There are
If I may ask, did you see the live stream that my partner Acosta had delivered?
Yes, we did.
And for you save my curiosity, why not the verbal test?
We've seen enough of your interactions on there to know what you're about. Consider it a very strong letter of recommendation.
That's only slightly concerning. Thank you.
We're impressed. We're going to hook you up with some information. We're going to tell you where the Alcazar is that you need to go to. You get headed out anytime soon?
So far as I'm aware, it's going to be like tomorrow-ish, right?
You guys are leaving later in the evening on this day.
Then I'll tell him that.
Okay. He would nod.
You mind sharing your information with me? That way we can reach out to you.
Of course.
And I will transfer over my phone, email, whatever you want to call it.
You share all your contact info. They nod.
Well, thank you very much, Rin. We will absolutely be reaching out to you shortly. It's nice to have you on board. That much is for sure. We could use some tried and true talent lately.
More than happy working with people who understand my intentions.
You won't find anybody better. Listen, if that Acosta fella is also looking for a position, consider that a okay already.
I feel like you can do better.
I feel like we probably could, but we're kind of strapped for individuals lately.
Again, my curiosity gets the better of me. Is there a reason as to the lack of hands?
Lack of hands?
As in, they seem short-staffed.
All the Sindais took a hit after the schism of the Source. Argent Sentinels, we're kind of a sister organization, like I said. The only problem is that The Tribunus likes to prevent us from recruiting, despite the fact that they gave us the okay to exist. It's a complicated situation, but they do a lot of sheep dipping, if you're familiar with the term.
No, I think I'm getting it. So all the Syndias kind of got their asses kicked. But hey, if the Argent Sentinels never really recover, that's not too bad, is what you're saying, right?
Right, because they'll get all the talent. Yeah, that's basically what it is. But they're clearly building back up, and the Tribunus knows that it needs the Argent Sentinels at this point, so they're kind of in a position. But yeah, you have that now, and you're at the temple, so you would be here when V and Acosta linking up. You guys are on the street. Can I get both of you to roll a D100 as well?
While they're rolling that real quick,
yeah, go for it.
My shopping list I sent you. Did it say this put on order and get it at the end of this?
Give me 1 sec to let me double check.
Sure.
Shopping link.
I believe I pinned it.
You probably did. Give me 1 sec.
I just realized we're getting further and further away from it.
Okay, so open the list with me so I could go down with it for you to let you know. First one you would be able to get for 1070, so a very slight markup. Second one, so at your particular level at this junction, they probably wouldn't have a one that's going to suit your needs at this very moment. But your potential to be able to use it is opening up soon as your battery's getting better. You could have one held on order if you want to do that.
Sure.
Okay, so mark the price off now, and the next time you come to Absalom Station, you'll have one. Or they can send it to you if necessary. Third thing, looks like a massive bulk order just went out recently, so they don't have one. It's just upped in price. You can get one for about 900.
Yeah, that's within range. So.
Okay. The part for your weapon, you can do that one for 13. Yes to all of the bundled grenade things there. The coat you can get for 100 credits. Bandolier you can get for 75. You can get one. You can't have any super high cap right now, but you can get 2 high cap.
Okay.
Let me just do this. To answer your question, yes, you would be able to do that.
Okay, cool.
Just say that the EAC now goes down to 19, but you have your full move speed.
Okay, cool. And what would the upgrade cost to
considering they're stripping parts away, and you're gonna.
Did you cut out just for me or for everybody there? I'm not sure. I didn't hear you.
No, it was everyone. I didn't hear it.
Your mic is not working, Sandman. No, we can't hear you. You cut out in the middle of what you were saying about how much it would cost.
It should be working now, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Sorry about that. I bumped into the wire. I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but they'll let you have it for the listed price, and they'll do the upgrade for you.
Oh, okay. So just the price of the base armor then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So having that done, you link up with Acosta, who is looking slightly worse for wear, all things considered. He definitely looks tired, but he's got a new arm that still has the hospital information on it.
Eesh. That thing looks like crap. How are you feeling?
Sorry, what was that?
He said that thing looks like crap. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
I feel like crap, and yes, it is.
Don't worry, we'll have the replacement for you soon. So,
Thank you.
You lost your dog at the temple, is that right?
Well, I don't know if I lost him so much as it's his own person. He can, he has agency in his own life. He probably just wanted to hang him back in the temple. So I'm gonna go pick him up and see if he wants to come back with us.
All right, let's go see if your dog's still alive.
Okay. One sec. Sorry. You guys head on over to the temple. The very first thing that you notice is that they're in those big steps that you had come up recently. People are trying to come up and down them, but they're keeping a very wide berth of the middle of the stairs. Because on the middle of the stairs, about halfway up, there is a 360-degree field of just scorch. The marble has been blackened like a bomb. A nuclear explosion has gone off. And sitting in the middle of the unscorched part is a corgi.
What is that thing?
That's my dog. I told you he was fine. I told you he has agency in his own life. He also has this really cool trick. He just floats towards me sometimes while I'm facing the other way. Look, he's doing it right now. I'm gonna use my mage hand to scruff and bring him over while trying not to look like he's mine.
He wiggles for a second and then leaps into the air like he's going to jump all the way down the stairs, but you catch him and guide him to you with the source, bring him right into your arms, and he licks your face.
That's my little man. That's my little
man.
You need to leave right now.
Looks over at UV.
I put my hand out,
Wouldn't recommend that. Sometimes doesn't really people,
I like animals.
You watch as one of the Sandias comes down the stairs. Excuse me, is that your dog? It has been harassing the students. It has damaged the steps. This is going to cost a significant amount of credits. The dog turns around. Just blast radiant energy right at the man. Oh, God! The light stops. His whole face has been seared. His hair is gone. He just turns around and starts limping up the steps. Doesn't say anything else.
Not my dog, but if he was, I'm actually in the right by taking him away, if you like.
Okay, well, I was gonna go inside, so if you're gonna take the dog away...
Yeah, no, we need to go inside, actually.
So you guys start climbing the steps. Rin, you are just getting to the front door now as you see V and Acosta heading up to you.
I like to imagine that I'm just finishing my conversation with the Argent Sentinels, look over to see Acosta holding up a corgi who just blasts one of the temple staff, and I just go I'm just gonna turn around. I'm gonna
oh, what a nice day it is! Look at the time,
and just start heading away.
Oh, hey, Ben! I was hoping we'd find you here.
I will hear the voice stop, realizing I've been seen for 1 second. Turn around.
Oh, hello! I didn't realize you had arrived.
Hey, didn't you get a text that we were going to the temple? Isn't that
What'd you say?
in your head? I said, didn't you get a text that we were going to the temple?
Ah, how forgetful I am. Welcome to the temple. I wasn't sure they allowed dogs.
Well, they make special occasions for really cute dogs. Also, not my dog, if anyone asks. Let's go inside. Come on.
I mean, I'm already inside.
Yeah,
so.
Heading into the temple, it is very much the arrangement that you guys have already heard of and talked about. Large, grand, open concourse with large stairs that go up to multiple different levels. This building itself is about 4 floors of all sorts of shit. including a lower floor devoted to the quartermaster division, where they test new equipment and hand out equipment, that kind of thing. Are you guys heading for anywhere particular? V, you came here for a reason.
Yeah, I would look to Rin and Acosta and say, so who's in charge here? Who can I talk to about this sort of shit?
I believe the person in charge is an SRO known as Halcyon.
Master Halcyon?
Yes, Master Halcyon.
Okay. I wasn't sure his title, but Master Halcyon.
Could you put me in contact with him then?
I'm unsure as to how busy he is, but I don't see any reason why he would swing you away.
I know his name.
You just yell out his name?
The title, Master Halcyon.
Okay, several people look at you and very quickly leave the area. Finding the nearest door and getting behind it.
We're on good speaking terms. Also,
I take a solid 2 steps away from whatever's about to happen to Acosta.
I see Rin do that, and I follow suit. Wait, what's going on?
Is there a reason my name is being called?
I hit solar to Rin, and I say, "Yeah, I needed your attention. I needed to
up and just 3 floors up, looking down on you."
wave."
God, I haven't seen the ghost sign. We use our inside voices here.
You're using your outside voice right now.
Because you need to be talked down to.
He just takes himself over the railing and just falls, and with like a drop of rain hitting the surface of water, just puts his foot, plants it on the ground, and rests, his cloak stopping billowing as he gets into your face. Now he's just dropped from 3 stories up, right in front of you now.
I see you've brought the dog that ate a star with you.
Wait,
Eat a star?
I'm making assumptions.
Wait, what did you say though?
What do you want?
Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. I wanted to talk to you. I didn't expect you to go about getting your attention.
Then consider this my sincerest apologies. I thought it was for this one. What is your name?
I'm Van Theril TCL, but you can just call me V or Van, whichever you prefer. I just had a couple of questions that I thought you might be able to answer.
If it is, if that is what you prefer most, please do.
What am I? I've recently come in contact with one of the Source Stones.
That is a loaded question to start with.
Yeah. It's something I'm trying to find.
You've recently come into contact with what?
A Source Stone, and, well, he would produce the sword. Seems I have some connection, but I don't know how much.
He immediately cocks his head as you produce this weapon and holds out a hand with a gesture of, may I?
Yeah, go for it.
He very carefully picks it up, begins examining it, and turns it over, flips it around a couple of times, really studying the craftsmanship.
You put this together on your own.
Yeah, I've always had a, penchant for making weapons, so it was a new power source. I was just having a bit of fun with it, really.
Having a bit of fun with it, that is certainly a turn of phrase. A lot of people having fun with things lately and putting a person down from time to time. Oh my.
Is this who you said that to, Acosta?
Sorry, what?
Putting people down? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
You keep strange bedfellows, may I say.
I just want to say, for the record, I trained him. So
He assisted in training.
Train me. You helped.
I helped, but we both trained you. So any success that you have is our success, and any failure you have is on me.
I take another 2 steps away from Acosta.
Halcyon doesn't seem as generally imposing as he was yesterday. You don't get the energy that he's going to start smacking a bitch, but it's possible. He just nods.
I have to assume.
You have to assume. He looks to you, V.
This is... I don't want to lie to you. It's obviously not the best that it could be, but I can very clearly see you did most of what you could. That is an intrepid spirit. I do not see much come through this temple anymore. That is fine craftsmanship for what you had on hand. What is your goal with this? What kind of weapon do you hope this to be when all is said and done?
I don't know, something that can carry me through to what I need to do in the end.
What is it that you need to do in the end?
Find out. I need to find out.
Find out what?
It's a long story, but I'll save you the details, and it's about a parent. You need to know if they're still alive.
Come with me, I have something to show you. The rest of you as well.
And he turns and begins walking. You guys follow him kind of trepidatiously up the stairs. He begins moving you quickly through a room, not really giving you time to look at anything as you're trying to keep pace with him. And you enter a room with these, there are equally spaced out pedestals that are like 5 to a row and 5 deep in this room. And on these pedestals, protected by some kind of light barrier, are various things. Like, one looks like it has a piece of a mask inside of it. Another looks like it's a gauntlet. Another looks like it's the hilt of a source blade. Another appears to be a dagger. You see another piece that is a necklace that is just floating in the middle. You see another area that has what looks like somebody's skull with these massive golden tusks coming out of it. And then he walks over on the right-hand side of the room to what looks like a large two-handed source blade hilt. Looks at it and just reaches past the barrier for a moment, pulls it out, and very gently offers it to you, V.
I would take it very sort of cautiously, like, okay. What do you want me to do with this?
I want you to see how that feels in your hand. It's like a long, it's a long metal pole, but you can clearly see the designs that would indicate that it's like it has some kind of source crystal in here. You can feel it just touching it, but it's like the length of a pole arm almost.
I'd try powering it on then, see how it
Okay.
felt.
The blade ignites with what sounds like the rumbling of an engine, the crack of thunder. And you, in your hand, have this, though the blade is a staggering purple color.
Huh. Feels nice.
Is that all you feel?
I'd
Go ahead and make a
focus
charisma.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, again, I am the Syndias with the shit charisma, so not bad.
19, though. 19. You hold this blade, this axe, and yeah, you do kind of feel something. Like a lot of somethings. I don't know what Sig is saying, but Mike isn't.
Talking to myself.
Oh, okay. Feeling a lot of different somethings. But the one thing that stands out to you with the 19, you feel like you've touched this before. You feel like you've held this before.
Can I recall when?
No. You really don't. Because you're positive in your life you have never, ever, ever touched this.
I was gonna say, I don't think I touched this. I don't think there's been a time where I would have touched anything that might have been this and I wouldn't realize, so...
He stares at you for a couple of seconds. And as he looks down on you, the faceplates move as if to indicate a smile.
Zartha Imonego.
And you recognize the name distinctly as a should.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean anything to you. He seems to acknowledge that.
This blade has sat in this vault for over 350 years. You are the first person that has been able to ignite it.
What?
It belonged to an issued grandmaster named Zartha Imonego. We had believed that perhaps it would not ignite again without another issue touching it, but we checked. There are very few members of the Sendaios that are issued. We have been trying, it did not work. And in the text, the tone that Zartha Imonego had wrote, he said that when the time would come that he was needed again, he would come back and ignite the blade. I don't know how much you believe in prophecy.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's a bit prophetic for my taste. I've been getting a lot of that recently, and it's kind of...
prophetic. I do not believe you to be Zartha Imonego. I do not think that you have his qualities, or his strength, or his mastery.
Okay, you don't have to
But I
go
do
that
see
far.
fragments. I do see fragments of his spirit within me. Not in a metaphysical sense. I see a passion to carry through a mission. I see, as I see with Acosta, and as I see with Rin, I see potential. Despite what you may have been through yesterday,
He says, looking at Acosta and Rin.
I'm not a fool enough to say that you do not have potential. There are rare talents that have walked through the doors of this temple before. And I have an eye for them. Perhaps that will be you as well. I have received word from the Council of 21. Rin and Acosta, you seek a master who is no longer part of the tribunus, correct?
I think it is a master who seeks us, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it's kind of like a mutual speak, you know, like I see her.
A student is nothing without their master, but a master is not a master without a student. It is a relationship that must exist on two parts. So, yes, I would go so far as to agree with your sentiment. My request to the three of you: carry through with your mission, find her, and make sure all of you live to meet her. I do not know why the source is working the way it is now, guiding you to this particular individual with a particularly troubled history amongst our order, but I am not one to doubt the source when it presents evidence in front of me.
He looks back to you, V.
Vandaral Tzitziel. I know you do not believe in fate, or prophecy, or the mystic arts. I know you do not even know who Zartha Imonego is. But I was under strict guidance, as was his last will and testament before he died. Whoever could ignite the blade, it was theirs to take. As a matter of what you believe, but you were the first to ignite it. So as to honor his wishes, the source axe is yours.
Finders keepers.
What? I don't know what to say, but thank you.
In the Ishru tongue, he was the first to craft this axe. And in the tongue, he named it the Stradixa.
Oh my god.
Stradixa does mean battle axe.
Yes.
You should.
Yes. Yeah, well, seems like all the pieces are falling
Kind
in
of shrugged,
place.
like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. That
Fucking
tracks.
Destiny, I fucking knew it.
I do not believe in destiny. I am not a personal believer in it. I do believe in cosmic coincidences, though, and I know if you get enough of them in a row, they stand still long enough for you to cut them down. Don't let anybody tell you what you must do. Don't conform to any prophecy, not even to the prophecy of a man who was as great as Orthain O'Neill. He may be Z, now you are V, but your destiny is your own. Do not listen to the words of wizened old hermits who live in forests or caves or sit upon grand thrones telling you what to do. This blade is yours only by the rights that he left out in his last will and testaments. What you choose to do with it, what you choose to make your destiny from here, your fate, the one you choose to form, is yours alone.
Well, never taken too much advice from hermits in old caves anyway, so...
Stick to that. If there's anything else I can assist with, please do let me know.
Yes, I actually did have a couple more questions.
Please go on.
The library. What do you know of that? Or maybe the Black Library?
He tilts his head back a little bit.
For one who does not believe in destiny, fates, and magic, you're asking a very particular question. Where have you heard this?
As I said, I've been getting a lot of prophetic bullshit lately put towards me. You are not the first. So... I've heard it's linked to the source, though. Or it's the same thing, or something, I'm not sure.
Prophecy, foretelling, clairvoyance. These are all words that describe a similar phenomenon in which possible futures can be seen and dictated if followed in a proper way. The source is very much tied to all this much is true. The Black Library specifically is I'm not the best expert to be speaking with about this, but I am appraised of it. I understand that certain mystics use the Black Library as their source, where the Akashic record contains the knowledge of every cosmic event that ever will be. The Black Library is very much similar, but only different in that it contains every secret that will ever be told. It is a place considered to be potentially dark. But much like a gun can be used as a tool of righteousness, or a tool to inflict harm upon the weak and the helpless. It is not the item itself that carries a moral value, it is the one who wields it.
Well, morals are tricky, you know?
They certainly are. I prefer you try to keep on the path of the straight and narrow as much as possible.
I try to. I try my best.
And you have not yet had an awakening, correct?
An awakening? I mean, I've had some weird visions. I saw that teacher
He
that
looks
we're
back
supposed to go meet.
He looks back and forth immediately at Rin and Acosta.
Have you not spoken to him about awakenings?
Hang on, repeat that.
We were more focused on like physical
He
training.
wants to know why you guys haven't told him about awakenings yet.
I didn't think it was. I don't know what Rin knows. I didn't think it was something you just told people.
Well, I didn't want to tell him because I don't know much about it myself, so it wouldn't really make sense to be like, "Hey, here's the
Then I
thing."
will tell you, V. I will tell you, V. Rin and Acosta both have a presence within the source that is visible. This is a consequence of their first awakening. Every Sindarin goes through at least one awakening in their lifetimes, and the most that has ever been recorded is 3. That is not to say more cannot be done, but 3 is the record. Most of our beliefs, most of our systems come in the number 3. It is fitting, as we rest upon the triaxial balance of the cosmos. balanced in 3 directions. It is different for everyone. It will present differently for everyone, but it will typically come after a major event. Trauma, a major victory, a sudden realization, truth. Any number of events considered both, even something as simple as a nightmare or a dream. What can happen from there is questionable. Some hallucinate, some go on spirit visions, some dream, some like that. But you will be presented a choice, one of 3 directions for you to proceed down. Boons to be unlocked. They will get more powerful as time goes on, but these boons represent different aspects. Always, one will be the way of the white, one will be the way of the gray, one will be the way of the black. Acosta and Rin's actions thus far made the way of the gray's choice look the most valuable, which is why, when you learn to see them within the source itself, they appear as faint ashen outlines. Where you will go is unknown. Obviously, I suggest you do not walk the path of the black.
These awakenings, like, so everyone gets them. When can I expect this to happen then? It's just so strange to me as a concept.
It will be random. There is no quite telling. We have not found any reliable way to set one off. But perhaps either of them could provide context for when theirs started. Acosta, what was your awakening?
My awakening was actually after my first time in the hospital when I killed a person for the first time. I saw 3 doors and I had to pick.
And Rin, what for you?
That would be shortly after my incident.
Of course. And how did it present itself to you?
The 3 pillars of light.
Different color, I imagine?
Because it's been a while. They don't believe they were different colors. I
They
think they
weren't
just
different
kind
colors, actually. The lines of code registered for you in different ways.
Yeah, but it wasn't color. It was just like intent.
Yes, you got intent, and very similarly, all of Acosta's doors were identical, but there was feelings behind them, emotions tied to each one.
Okay.
So, as you saw, one came from combat, one came from trauma. My personal awakening was the day that I became sentient. The very day that I became a Syndias was the day of my first awakening. That is how it happens for some people. For others, well, there are certain masters on the council that did not have their awakening until 50 years later. Just how some people function. But what we do know, and I will let you all in on this, is that these awakenings are becoming more frequent. We don't know what this means, but more powerful abilities are being awoken within the source, and we don't know why yet. So steel yourselves from dangers that yet lurk.
I have a theory, but you might call me a bit crackpot for it.
I try not to doubt anything these days. I'm willing to hear anything once.
The same prophetic bullshit from the other person I heard. They told me the source, the Black Library, the drift, the green, and the glow, I believe, are what they mentioned to me. They said they're all connected. I don't know. If the drift is where the source comes from, and it just gets stronger as the drift grows, I don't know. Maybe it means that the source gets stronger.
This theoretically does track. You will certainly have to keep an eye on this. Now, are there any other questions that I can answer for you? There is a new class of students I must speak to.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to ask other than that was more like gameplay side. I just wanted to ask about their power armor and how they worked off of source crystals, if that was how they worked off of source crystals.
It is true. We have commissioned a, for now, single suit of power armor that functions off the same crystals that the blades use. I believe Rain, you watched one of these presentations, yes?
Yes, it was somewhat terrifying.
Would you like to elaborate?
I voiced these concerns previously, although not in your presence. It seems as though this technology could very easily be used to destroy the Syndias.
This much is potentially true. How it works. V. I have commissioned suits of anti-Syndias armor. There are rumblings and whisperings out in Estakar Citadel, where our sister temple lies, that a new Corundum is beginning to rise. A new order of those who walk the way of the Black. This one far more militant than the last, and we may not survive this attempt to schism. I commissioned the armor at the behest of some members of the council. It is not perfected yet, but it is resistant, if not entirely immune to the source, capable of deflecting and reflecting source blades, and will give us the edge we need if the darkness rises again. But it is not finished, it is not perfected. We are still having issues with the way the power surges through the armor. At present, they make perfectly good statues that are immune to anything that a Sindai can throw at them, but unfortunately they are not combat capable yet.
I have a question.
I may have an insight.
That ability you tried using on me the other day, it felt like you could have easily pushed my swords out of my body, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Make that the main weapon.
It's an incredibly taxing ability. If I had successfully pulled it off on you, I likely would have been almost entirely spent until I could take some time to meditate and rest and recuperate some of my faculties. It is an incredibly taxing power that is just as damaging for you in many ways as it is for me. Where you lose your connection, mine is almost entirely drained. But that loss of connection is not permanent. It is a high level ability that is used in the events of emergencies or to prove a point.
I have to say, you thought I was an emergency, but you had
Your
to.
point.
Well, yeah.
Any other questions?
Rin quietly to himself. I'm an emergency.
No, thank you. Honestly, I ended up getting way more than I expected here.
I'm happy you did.
He does a little double take and then gestures for somebody. You turn around and one of the temple servants is coming up, somebody who doesn't look like they are Syndias, based on the type of robes that they have. And they kind of bow to you a little bit, V, and present you a package.
Hello, what is this?
Doesn't say anything.
I take it, I guess.
You open it up, and it is a tailor-made suit of Syndias clothes. The full robes.
Oh. He like put them up in front of himself, like, it's great, it's okay, I guess.
Feel free to make your modifications, but consider
yes,
it welcome to the order.
Welcome to the club.
He's on a club.
I mean, I do need to go clothes shopping anyway. Actually, I should go do that before we leave.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys standing in kind of like this artifact room, having this conversation. Sig, you're doing 1,000,010 things. What are you doing right now?
Sig probably would have been in the workshop bright and early, working away. Get the message from Pandora. Look down at the work in progress on the arm he's doing.
It's largely... Can I go ahead and get you to make a tech check?
Tech or engineering?
Engineering. Make it with advantage. 25. I want to roll against that real quick. Okay. You spend a good deal of time putting this arm together because prosthetic limbs are cool in the future. And you want to make sure that this is something that's actually going to be useful. As you're coming to the end of its construction, testing the circuitry, testing that the fingers work properly, there's this little font of inspiration that strikes you. Take a look at the design, you take a look at it from another angle. And you get back to work on it. I'm going to say for another hour, as an idea strikes you. What were the proposed stats for the arm? Did you have any?
I had proposed purposes behind it. One, using one of the spare crystals that Acosta had to be the power source for the entire arm.
Yep.
And also be used to power a blade
And a
as
mirror
well.
point, right.
That would function a bit similar to V's blade, in that instead of it being a hilt, it comes out as a bar from his wrist.
Right.
The blade go this way, and then it has a second option that can be deployed as a shield, and then a taser hand as well.
The shield part doesn't function only because the source blades can't create these perfectly circular planes of force that are fully covered enough to make a shield, but you can make a quick deploy like metal shield that's kind of like a buckler in size. The thing that you succeed at doing with the 25, though, is you realize with just how compact the emitter and the blade is, you could squeeze a little something extra in there. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can either put a motor through which the arm can detach and move on its own by crawling on its fingers, a grappling hook in which the hand is the grappling hook, and it'll have 50 feet of cable, or the third thing is the palm of the hand has a recharging flashbang grenade. So which one?
I feel like Rin wouldn't be as interested in the flashbang, or not Rin, Acosta, sorry. Alcohol.
But not incorrect.
I feel like he'd be equally interested in the other two options, but I feel like he'd just use the detaching hand for pranks and not really anything else. So let's go with the grappling hook.
Yes! You complete the arm. The arm has 50 foot of carbon steel tensile cable and a hand capable of grappling. It will be functional as both a grappling hook and a tool that he can fire at people, grab them, and reel them in closer.
Or tase them right then.
Or tase them right then from a distance, correct.
Yeah.
We'll give him the stats on that in a minute. Costanza, what are you
But what I was going to say, Sig,
go ahead.
would do is then go and join Pandora.
Okay. You very quickly just shove the arm on your backpack and start running down because blowing stuff up is always cool.
I need a break right now.
I'm going to say you find Pandora fairly quickly because it's very not hard to find where Pandora has been based on the path of destruction, crying, screaming, joy, various emotions that are too intense for normal people to have. You do find her eventually down in the spike, like I said. She is currently on the Sparks level where a lot of the heavy machinery is, but you notice a old defunct factory that hasn't quite switched over yet is going to be demoed to install a newer factory, and it's currently being used by a couple of gangs who just want to blow shit up. And Pandora, you are in there with somebody has handed you, for whatever godforsaken reason, somebody has handed you a grenade launcher, and there are a bunch of mannequins set up at the far end of the room.
I have some new ammo I need to try out.
Yeah, I've already set them up.
The guy who's helping you
as
out.
Huh?
No, I was just going to say, the guy who's helping you out is like, all right, well, just listen up here, little miss. I did a little bit of surprise for you. And he grabs the cylinder of the grenade launcher and spins it. He goes, each one of those grenades is different, but I ain't going to tell you what it does until it happens.
Perfect. Yeah, I've already set them up in bowling pin formation.
Okay.
Yeah, and give it a spin.
You also spin it as Sig is walking up. Just fire in the first shot, see what happens.
Just doesn't look where I'm shooting and just like, oh, hi, Sig! And then just shoots it.
Go ahead and just make a general dexterity check for me real quick. I want to check something.
Sure.
22. You look, you see Sig one
I'm a
hand.
crack shot.
Pull the trigger, not even looking, one arm out. The grenade launches downfield, and as it does so, the grenade casing itself splits open, and like 50 pellets go flying out, and everywhere they strike is a little mini explosion, just spraying all down the field. And everybody's like, "That was fucking cool, dude! Pull the trigger again."
She just takes
I
a
have
sip of
something
blood.
similar to that, but that is better. How did you make Yours blows up, mine did not.
You pull the trigger again. This one, you watch as it soars out, these little fins come out, and it strikes the first mannequin and spins, drilling into it, into the second mannequin, into the third mannequin, and then as it hits the center of the group, boom, just explodes all of them. They're like, "Fuck, Dave, you keep getting the cool shit." They start setting up new mannequins.
Okay, who made these?
Where
did you get them?
You watch as a couple of guys point. On the far side of the room, there is a table set up where a gentleman is standing in a very nicely trimmed business suit. And there are grenades laid out on the counter, and you see a placard that reads, "Free sample courtesy of Rock Bottom Solutions."
Ah. Of course.
Sig is going over and just immediately talking designs.
You look like he's currently in the middle of a business deal, but you watch as he opens up a case and he puts on these very, very clean cotton white gloves as he opens up this case and removes a rotary grenade launcher, pulling it out. And he goes, "Well, as you can see, in-house we have a couple of names for this. Most popular one is Bastard Child." And he cracks the casing down. He goes, "This rotary mag is currently capable of holding 9 munitions. All of them must be purchased with the Rock Bottom stamp of approval, but we give you enough to take out a small country when you first start." He pulls out a quick loader and slams it in, twists it off, and just tosses it to the side. As you can see, quick and ready to go. Pull it out of the case. I'm ready to take out a whole platoon of whatever might be in front of you, whether that's robots or soldiers or police officers. Not asking questions. Flips it up, pulls on a pair of glasses. We currently are using more of the cutting-edge Rock Bottom Solutions eye targeting system. And as he's waving it around, he goes, "There is a tiny heads-up display in my glasses right now, so I always know exactly where this is pointed, and it has active calculation and trajectory requirements telling me exactly where it's going to land." Cutting-edge shit, my friends. This little puppy right now is going to run you upwards of 15,000 credits, but for a limited time, 10,000 credits, and I'll throw in the first 5 grenades free. And you see a couple of gangs immediately start buying him out. And he goes, "Now remember, I don't condone any of this being used against the Astra Corps or Absalom Station security or anything like that. And if you do use it for things like that, as you can see, the serial number on the bottom can actually just be clipped off. And on the side where it says Rock Bottom Solutions, if you like, we do have this gun here. And if you're going to use it for that thing, just tell me. I won't ask questions, but I'm just going to change the name to Hexbolt Armaments, okay?"
God, I absolutely would have done that. Oh no!
So you guys are subject to that currently. Costanza, what are you up to?
I was gonna go to the Arcana Miriam.
Okay. So jumping back real quick, you arrive not too long. You head onto the property. Same thing. You have to disarm of weapons and stuff. One sec. Switching up the music.
God, I ruined the future. I tried so hard not to.
You step onto the property, and truly, it's like a different world. There is grass here, and swaying trees that are unlike any trees that you've really seen. And you notice as people are passing by, it is a willow tree, but you watch as the willow leans down, and the tendrils of the willow tree just kind of try to take people's hats off as they pass by, so people duck a little lower and keep running. You see You see students currently on the green who are sitting there having a picnic or looking up and talking about the stars, people testing their technomagical experiments. You hear the most god-awful sound you've ever heard. A mix between a screech and a caw. And you hear, no, you little fucker, this isn't happening again, no! And you look, and you see a griffin. But a griffin is classically the mix between a lion and an eagle. This griffin is the mix between a raccoon and a seagull, who is currently fighting one of the students for their bagel, and with hands is trying to rip it out as seagull wings are flapping in its face. No, I'm tired of doing this, Kyle! Stop it! And he tries to punch the bird for the bagel. The bird just opens its mouth and like a tendril comes out and stabs him in the hand. He's like, what the fuck is that? And he extricates his hand. The griffin that is raccoon and seagull flies off quickly with the bagel. That was my lunch.
Damn it, we need more animal.
I was imagining it with a raccoon body and seagull head, which would make it much less efficient. So,
all sorts of crazy stuff going on here. It is a magical university, but it's also a technomagical university. Currently waiting online for the engineering bay guest check-in, you see Kilo.
hey!
Hello.
What brings you here?
Dreams, self-inflection.
Good place. I feel that.
Do you think I can catch that bird?
Do I think you're capable, or do I think you should?
Yes.
Yes.
Laserbeak. Try at it, but don't kill it.
I'd like to see it up close.
Griffin's already coasting off into the city somewhere.
Darn.
I'm sure there will be more.
Yeah, you saying anything else, or are you just waiting online? What were you looking to do, Costanza?
I was mostly looking, again, for more pre-vanishing literature, things of that nature, or early, post-vanishing, I guess.
Okay. Are you making this known to Kilo?
If he asks, yeah.
Kilo's just staring ahead, just patiently waiting, not realizing the queue is like 10 years ahead or something.
Sorry, just looking at something. As you kind of are like talking about what you guys are looking for, you hear a voice coming up from behind you. Oh, if you're looking for like literature and stuff like that, you can. We do have a library here. It's basically open to the public. And you turn around, you see a tired but excited-looking student with kind of like frazzled hair and a shock of red going through it that they have clearly dyed at some point. Wearing like a full tool belt, and you notice that there's something kind of off about them, and he takes a second to register that they're not wearing armor. Like half the chest, the entirety of the left arm, and at least both of the legs below the knee are cybernetic prosthetic replacements, but also the backpack contraption that she's wearing has 2 extra arms attached to it, and she looks like this.
Whoa! That's so cool!
Did you say that out loud?
What do you say?
I mean,
She
no.
said, "Oh, that's so cool."
I'll be like, that's impressive, may I just say.
What?
Your setup and everything. That's
And she kind of like crosses her arms kind of self-consciously, but the other arms come up and kind of like rub the back of her head. And she's like, thanks. You know, she seems real flustered.
Is that... Stop! Is that, like, a unique thing to have, or
Custom built.
yeah.
She looks down at herself. She goes, amputations?
No, I'm so sorry. I mean the.
Oh, you mean the implants and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No,
sorry.
There's lots of people like me around here. Like they'll have all sorts of different kinds of stuff. This is my custom built stuff. I figured, I'm in the engineering course, so I needed a little extra pair of hands, kind of thing. Yeah. Sorry. You were looking for a library?
Oh yeah, I don't know what the best resource would be for pre-vanishing literature.
Oh boy, yeah, no, we got stuff for you. Don't worry. It's kind of open to the public. We just don't let you take the books out. You have to stay there. But it's that building, and she points with two arms. It's that building right over there, and it's a kind of like a glass dome building with this pyramid shape on top. Looks like a library if you ever did see one. And she looks to you, Kilo, and says, "And you're waiting for the engineering lab? For what exactly?"
To be examined.
Well, I mean, I can help you out if you let me.
Certainly.
Oh, cool. Well, before I start digging into you and stuff, my name's Carly, and she holds out with two hands and then pulls back the metallic one, and she has to actively think about it.
Before she does, I'll shake both.
It might be prudent to give the biggest hand.
Okay, she shakes out both the hands. You take the metal hand, you take the human hand, you shake.
WLK5. WLFK5.
I'm gonna call you 5.
We
And
call it Kilo.
Kilo.
And I'm
sure there's a story there, and it's real funny. Okay, well, if you need help in the library, we have people there, a librarian. That's the name. We have a librarian in there, and we have a lookup system. So if you need to do that's cool too. If you need anything else, let me know. My name's Carly. I said my name was Carly already. It was real nice meeting you. I'm gonna help your friend. And she takes Kilo and starts walking away. Looks like she's not very good at talking to people, but robots are super easy for her. Kilo, you completely jump the queue as you start moving into the student engineering labs, where there is a shit ton of experiments going on right now. People who are working on thesis projects, people who are building not weapons, but tools to help revolutionize the future. You see 2 people that are really hard at work, I don't know if I can fucking do this, man. The competition's tight. And he goes, listen, I know, but if we can get into that factory, world's ours, buddy. We'll be fucking trendsetters. We'll be set for life. And they're like, I know, but
do they have mugs that are empty? Or
mugs?
Like something they were drinking out of?
Yeah, there's mugs that have been emptied.
I will pour them some coffee.
They look up to you. They look at you like you're a golden god as they begin drinking your nectar. Thank you so much. You keep going on. You get set down at a workstation. She pulls up a chair for you. What are we taking a look at?
Is it normal to dream for SROs?
No, but I have heard of it.
Something like that. I saw an image of my arm, my chest, and my faceplate. And when I touched my chest, I was able to do this. And I would show her laser beam.
Okay. Okay. She looks at it. So it seems to me like you, just based on the story, you got some kind of redundant subsystems or subroutines that are locked behind almost like a metaphysical concept in your mind.
Yeah, that would confuse the hell out of you.
That's what it sounds like to me. I could take a look at a couple of things. You mind if I take a copy of your code?
Sure.
She takes a little metallic puck and she just places it right where a temple would be and just places it there. It's going to take a few minutes, but I could take a look at some other stuff in the meantime. You said your limbs, something's up with your limbs?
Left arm and faceplate, as well as my
face.
core.
Okay. She gets to work, starts examining things. It could take some time as she's running diagnostics on stuff. Eventually, the code finishes. She just kind of glances up at it as she continues working with her hands. The metallic arm comes up, grabs the puck off, and starts it into the computer as she works with her other hands. Okay. All right. And she finishes the scan results. No, you definitely have a lot of stuff locked away here, but there's no energy running to these items. So there's definitely some kind of energy-based blaster in your arm. That much is for sure. Looks like it might have been part of a combat chassis at some point, but you do have some kind of energy weapon in your arm. There's just no energy running to it. Your legs, interestingly enough, have jump motors in them. They'd be able to like help you jump crazy high distances. Your core, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. It looks like your energy could be running way better through your body, better output, that kind of thing. And there are other systems in here, but I haven't been able to identify them all. How often do you have these dreams? She says now, trying to examine the code.
Only when my technician sticks 2 fists into my head.
Okay.
Sorry, phrasing. That is the jargon she seems to prefer to use.
She looks around for a minute and pulls her chair real close and puts one real hand on one knee, and then the robotic one is right above it. And she's like, I'm not, like, licensed for this or nothing, but, like, if you're being abused, I can get you in touch with people who can help. If SROs are allowed, like, their feelings may not be the same as ours, but, like, it's okay to be upset about this kind of thing. And if this is, like, if you need help, I can get you help.
You know the sound a floppy drive makes when it's like processing something? You're gonna hear that like as Kilo quickly Google searches these words for the first time. I need to have a word with Pandora. These are not accurate terms.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're okay. Good. I'm glad for you. I mean, the only thing that I would recommend is, as long as it's not hurting you none, you keep exploring this brain space of yours and seeing where it goes. Unfortunately, there's not much that I could do for you without killing you, because if I wanted to reroute power through you, I'd basically have to disassemble for you and start fresh. Keep chasing this, whatever it is. And she starts examining the code now. She goes, oh, yeah, no, for sure. You're 100% techno-magical.
This is one more thing that I did not know about myself from yesterday.
I'm surprised you didn't. It's pretty obvious looking at it. She shows you the code on the screen, and you have no context for it, but you're watching as pieces of the code are literally flowing like water across the screen, where everything else is just moving rigidly down. I'm sorry there's not a ton more that I could do, but your code is real interesting. I can't make anything out of it, but would you mind if I wrote about you for my paper?
I do not see why not.
Thanks. It's nothing harmful. I just need to write about technomagic in the modern world and SROs who are technomagical kind of thing, and one just happened to cross my path.
I suppose most biologicals know where they come from, but to not know, well...
She shakes her head a little bit. Not everyone.
He kind of gives her a quizzical look.
Some people who don't know who their daddies are.
I see.
Or their mommies.
I shall have to explore this issue.
There are entire biological TV shows that are dedicated to just this.
If you needed more help with stuff in the future, like stuff isn't working right, though, if you ever find yourself back in Absalom, just ask for Carly. I'm here for like the next 3.5 years.
Understood. I should keep you in reference.
For sure. And you seem like the adventuring type. If you find any interesting kind of tech, I'd love to take a look at it so I could write more papers about it and maybe leave sooner than 3.5 years.
I'm looking through my, I still have one food container full of questionable blood. No, I don't have anything interesting she could look at, unfortunately.
As she takes the puck back on your head to just close up the data leak, you see a contact info get inserted, which has her name on it. And you also see attached to it in the notes section the SRO abuse hotline.
Kind of looks at it and just, oh, good to know. Writes it down. Catalogs it.
Never bad to have, just in case. But yeah, it was really nice meeting you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah, this whole process took about an hour, and you jumped a 10-year line, so good for you. Costanza, in the library, what are you looking for specifically?
Mostly any, the oldest books they have. Any, real books would be
The oldest readable books they have?
I mean, that'd be great if they do, but I doubt they do.
What? Why would they keep a book that you can't read in the library?
Because pre-finishing.
What was that? You trailed off at the end.
Pre-finishing?
Yeah, but they wouldn't have them available to read in the library if you can't read them. So do you want the oldest readable book or just the oldest blank book from The Vanishing?
I mean, the books that I came across pre-vanishing still had some pictures.
Occasionally some letters and stuff. You want one of those?
I'll take a look at one of those, and then just the oldest readable ones as well.
Okay, so you want the oldest pre-vanishing book and the oldest readable pre-vanishing book.
Yes.
Okay, so you go up to the computer thing. It asks you for your name, so you put your name in, and it directs you to a room, and you go over to B32. You go inside, and you close the door behind you, and you hear zzz, as the door locks, and you're like, you turn around and you check the handle real quick. It doesn't open, but you do see there's a big exit button next to the door for when you're ready to leave. There is also a privacy screen. Do you want to keep that open or closed?
I'll close it.
Okay, you close it. There is a little computer on the desk. It's inlaid in the desk, so you start typing your query. You're like, one copy of oldest pre-vanishing book, one copy of oldest readable pre-vanishing book. And you close and you wait. Drum your fingers for a little bit. About 5 minutes later, in the far wall, a tray opens up. And sliding out on a little robotic pedestal is a copy of the book. And you go to reach out for it, and your hand thunks, and you realize it's on the other side of glass. There's a partition in the middle of the room, but you watch as it's brought up for you, and there is a little robotic hand on the other side that is turning the pages. You never get to touch the book, but it's here for you. So the oldest pre-vanishing book is just a book. It looks like a blank journal. There is nothing on the side, nothing on the cover, nothing on any of the pages inside of it. It is very clearly made of real leather, and pulling up some information on it, carbon dating that is available lists this book being at minimum 25,000 years old.
It's a wizard's book that hit it with magic.
Well, it might
Additionally,
be that
it is
vanishing
bound.
erased everything.
It is bound in human skin.
Oh. Hi, Hunger
nice.
Home.
The notes list that, based on magical residue, it's probably a wizard spell book, based on the nature of the skin, possibly necromancy in nature. However, all the data, everything about it has been removed, but it is incredibly well preserved. Interesting thing about it, though it is seemingly necromantic in nature, mystics who have examined it do not get negative intention off of it. Almost like it is a neutral necromantic book. But there is no data left inside of it. Nothing is readable.
I'll send it back on that.
Okay, it closes, goes back. Next one comes out. The oldest readable pre-vanishing text. I'm going to roll something to see what they currently have. Okay. Rolled actually really well. The book that comes out. Let me change up the music, actually.
This is no longer cutesy whimsical.
The book that comes out that is still readable exits the little nook in the wall, and as it approaches you, you find yourself backing up.
It was too powerful of a book. Turn off your mic, it was so powerful.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You find yourself instinctively backing away from the book. It is something that your body physically wants to recoil from. And as it finishes rolling up to you and stopping, the language on the cover you can't read, and then you can. And it says the primal principles. You look down at the information that's being presented on the screen in front of you, and the primal principles is a book that is, at minimum, 15,000 years old. Predates the Vanishing by 15,000 years, and is somehow still readable. You don't know what it means, because it hasn't been opened yet. The outside cover is bound in unknown leather by a creature as of yet identified, but does not match the genetic record of any known creature in the galaxy. The author's name does not appear at any point in the book. The shifting language seems to be universally connotated. However, when viewed at a distance from greater than 30 feet away, the text is confirmed to be abyssal. There is a button for you to tab open the book if you wish to turn the pages one at a time. But it tells you the basic summation is that this book discusses the lores of chaos. That it is a darkly magic and religious book that speaks of the various princes of the abyss and what they're about. And about what the abyss is. What are you doing?
So I need to decide if I open it.
You have a button to tab open the page if you wish to. Or you can ask it to go to specific pages.
I'll start at the table of contents.
Table of contents is butchered. There is a mix of symbols and things that could be letters, and pieces of it look like they've been literally bitten out of the book.
All right, then I'll start flipping through and see if there are pages that I can see any passages.
Go ahead and roll a d20 to see what the first readable passage that you find is. 9. Do you want better? Not that this dice exists. Go ahead and roll a d9.
A 4.
The first page readable section that you open up to, almost like the book is pulling itself there, is just labeled Grazit, the Prince of Pleasures. What it says is, the Lord of pleasure and limitless indulgence, Grazit is the ultimate hedonist. He incites lust and uncontrollable urges in both his cultists and his enemies. In his eyes, the multiverse is a great plaything, and he will one day be its master. All other creatures and things will be allowed to exist only if they give him pleasure. When the cosmos are his, all who are left will love and worship him. He is the master of his urges, however, not blinded by them. When the time comes to scheme and counterattack, he does so by channeling his frustrations by being away from pleasurable activities. His most esteemed cultists are the same. He takes their indulgences away from them so they can work to get them back. He promises dark delights and forbidden ecstasies in return for total submission to him. His cults gather new members by spreading tracts and poems and other works of art that depict encounters with him. Most would consider these works vulgar or dirty, but the curious souls are always lured to these forbidden delights. And the next couple of pages list the crimes that Grazit has been performed by him or in his name. And there are spells, arcane formula, to conjure demons from the abyss that are loyal to Grazit.
Sorry, I was just writing it down. Interesting. Have I heard of this at all?
You know of the abyss, and you know that there are 9 princes and princesses of the abyss. What their specific names are, you weren't 100% sure, but everybody got the memo in hell. Literally, there was a memo that's like, what you need to know about the 9 princes and princesses. But
they have like scam phishing alerts. Are you being tricked by a prince?
Are you being catfished by Grazit? Shit like that, yeah. But you feel like you want to read more, but at the same time, you really don't. Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw.
Oh no.
22.
This thing is deeply repulsive to you in ways that you cannot describe, but if you want to keep reading, you can.
I'll flip one more time.
Go ahead and roll a d9.
Can I aim towards like the latter parts?
End of the book? Okay.
2.
Okay. Changing directions in that case, a 2. You flip open that page, and the first thing that greets you is an enraged goat-like face with these wild, twisting array of horns, and for a second you swear it snorts at you, and you recoil back, but the pages haven't moved at all. It's always just been the pages. And the name you read is Bahamut, the Horned King. Bahamut divides the creatures of the world into 2 groups. Those that acknowledge his power are his servants, and are gifted with savagery and a hunter's cunning. Everything else is prey. Creatures to be hunted and slaughtered. The goal, his goal, is to transform the multiverse into his personal hunting ground. Bahamut is a savage entity, but he tempers his ferocity with his shrewdness. He loves the hunt and the feeling of impending doom that comes over the prey that can't escape his pursuit. Bahamut is fond of mazes and studies every little detail of the ones he creates and relishes in the dread of those that fall into them. The cults that follow Bahamut see themselves as superior to everyone else, to the extent that they are consider everyone else nothing but animals. His cultists range from nobles that use their servants as playthings to assassins who practice their art for the sheer joy of hunting intelligent creatures. Reading the further pages, there are rites and rituals to summon Minotaur directly from the abyss, but only in places where there is a maze around them that they can live in. Reading one of the crimes, you note that pre-vanishing, it's talking about, on a world known as Galarian, there was a group of individuals who dove into one such maze created by the cultists of Bahamut. And as they tried to map the place out to be explored more, one by one they died, not even picked off by the Minotaur itself. They died reading the map, because by the time the map was assembled, their cartographer, a wizard, had unknowingly scrawled a death sigil on his page, the shape of the maze, and even looking at the map killed them instantly. One cruel trick after another.
That's metal as fuck.
Thanks, I just made that up.
Wow, okay, I'm putting it back now because I'm afraid of any images in this book now.
You click the return button and it does not go.
Oh god, no!
Begins turning to the middle of the book. You don't see the title. You don't see the name. All it says is, the Prince of Demons is a being of unfettered violence and rage, the mightiest of all the demon lords of the abyss. His twin heads, Amuel and Hathridath, compete in some ways and cooperate in others. The result is an entity that is capable of devising and enacting the cleverest strategies, paranoid at all times and possessed by immense physical power. His ultimate goal is to empty the multiverse of all other creatures, even his followers. Free from any prospect of being betrayed or insulted for one specific reason. He just wants to sleep again, and everything is just too loud. According to scholars, if he ever achieved his goal, the two heads would ultimately have to battle it out to the death, devouring each other and leaving nothing behind in the entire multiverse but the void. His followers on Orbis are usually not by choice. They become deranged and mad just by laying eyes on his true symbol, transfixed on the idea of a being of such immense power and madness that they enact his will without question, becoming mindless thralls. Only once has heaven attempted an incursion into the abyss to kill him, capital H, once and for all. The result was the death of a god whose name has been stricken, and the gate to this particular plane being locked by Asmodeus himself. As you close the book, somebody directly behind you whispers, "His name is Demogorgon." You flip around, there's nobody there.
I was hoping it was Torn because I texted him.
The book closes, plays flat on the tray, and gets sucked back into the wall. On that note, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We're going to wrap up pretty soon. I know some people probably have work tomorrow. I know some people do have off tomorrow. As promised, it's not going to be an all-night thing, but I did want to hit at least Castrovel before we finish up. But I really, really, really need to wash my face because holy fucking shit is my nose so itchy, it's driving me insane.
Dude, today's been bad for me too.
It's not the inside, it's just the outside, and it only itches when I'm DMing, and I don't understand why.
Blue light.
Your evil eye.
It's so specific.
Something vibrating your face, making your nose itch.
I guess the talking, I don't know.
Because, like, if you've ever been on a bus that it vibrates a bunch, your nose starts to itch from it.
That is true. But yes, I will be right back. Everybody grab a drink, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing, and we'll wrap up pretty soon.
Okay.
Are you here, by the way, Ephraim?
I am.
Oh, I just haven't heard you say anything the whole time.
I've been driving home.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Here I was thinking, oh, we're just going to gloss over the next day of being in the station and just hop straight to Castroville. The Sandman's like, no, I got a thing. We're doing a lot of things.
Yeah,
I said he always does.
Freaking Salmon immediately just one-upping something my character worked on a couple sessions ago.
I'm joking with Pieball that he's just turning into my Saturday game character. Except not as wholesome.
He had the opportunity to go full Ten Shinhan. But no.
Why would anyone volunteer to be Ten Shinhan?
For the memes.
That's fair. You know what I've always wanted to be? You know what I've always wanted to be? Irrelevant.
Well, you're extremely relevant. Look what you caused.
But what if you were the guy that was Ten Shinhan, but became crazy relevant? Defied the odds.
That was me. I lived that life. I don't want to be relevant ever again.
I still want to do the campaign where we are the adventuring group hired by your parents.
And Archimedes is the final boss.
He might still be the final boss of this campaign. Who the fuck knows?
Archimedes security is the final boss.
No, Tobias might be the final boss. Or Ike. One of the two.
It's neither of my characters.
Patience.
If the goal of our campaign was to find the original planets, I think Emmett might be a final boss. But I don't think it is.
Alright. We all back?
Yep. Never left.
Yeah.
I already got my cake earlier.
I'm not at my PC, but I have my headset on.
Okay. All right. Everybody going about different things. I saw your message. APAC. Fuck. Close that. Where is it? Okay. 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 Handle all that stuff in a minute. Heading to the library. Yeah, you have all sorts of shit about it. Anything about ancient castles. There are a fair bit. If you're looking...
Well, to be more specific, I was looking for the castle that I saw in Division.
No, I was just about to get to that. If you're looking specifically for that castle, putting the parameters in, you don't find anything about it. But continuing, you guys are making pace through the day without necessarily RPing anything. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to immediately address or do?
I mean, I was gonna do the whole thing where I got Sig to run a DNA test on me.
I think we can do that on the ship.
Okay.
That's where.
Yeah, we were gonna do that on the ship.
You do
when we
have a thing for it. Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, we will begin departing Absalom Station for Castroville. Going once, going twice.
I mean, I'll make sure that JJ is on the ship.
JJ is not on the ship.
I mean, I have his contact info, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll alert him that we're leaving and wait for a response.
Okay. He would text you about like 10, 15 minutes later and say, I'm going to spend some time with the Tribunus.
Then real quick, I will stop by. Doesn't need to be RP, but I will give him the crystal that I bought.
Okay. He accepts it. Nods. Looks to you.
Thank you for this. This is a fine gift.
It is of little effort, and the least of your gifts you should be given. Again, if you ever wish for a place back on...
Infinite Horizon is the name of our ship?
If you ever wish for a place in the Infinite Horizon, give us a call and we will be sure to pick you up.
Thank you. I will certainly keep you in mind.
And I'll nod.
Okay.
That's literally it.
Yeah, you guys go your separate ways. The fireworks getting even more powerful as you're going into the evening. You guys request your ship for takeoff. Everybody gather.
I did message you. I was texting Torin to meet me at the library if you wanted, but we can talk about that later. We're on the side.
Who?
Torin.
Oh, Torin. Torin is real busy with Starfinder shit right now. He's still getting put through the ringer and having to take the test right now, but he does wish you safe travels, and he hopes that you come by Absalom Station again soon because he'll be more free, hopefully. And thanks you again for everything.
So, what's the time frame after Ephraim's big night out that we're leaving?
Say it again one more time.
Like the time frame, like after he took that challenge, how many days or when is the next? Like, do we have any time between
after
when
you
we're
took the
leaving?
challenge, you're leaving like 13 hours later, so just like a day
Oh
later.
so I'm gonna be hungover as fuck, sleeping in late. Yeah, I won't have any time to do anything. So
I mean, you do if you want to do something for sure.
No, I see him waking up 3 p.m. And just dragging himself. Get some food, get some coffee. Oh, hey, we gotta go. Kind of.
Okay.
You head in and all it says is your liver has failed. Please see a doctor.
You gather on the docks having missed like 87 group texts, so that's normal for you. You get the alert that they're starting to pack up and getting the ship ready and stuff, so you start heading off in that direction. You guys gather on the docks as the fireworks begin rounding out the height of the evening. Things will get more crazy after you guys leave, but you start gathering. This trip to Absalom Station was certainly an interesting one. You learned a fair bit. You figured out there was shit inside those cubes that you've been carrying around. A couple of you got answers. A couple of you left with far more questions than you had to begin with. A couple of you had some strange encounters. Somebody's particularly texts Eugene. Eugene comes out to the docks at Costanza's behest and comes to watch the fireworks, bidding farewell to you guys. Hey, it's been a real hell of a time with you guys here. Thanks for giving me a second chance at life, I guess. I still hate you for doing that on a small level, but I appreciate it.
You are allowed to hate me.
At least you're alive 2
Okay.
days.
He only looks at Sig.
All my hate is directed here now.
You're not undead.
Done. I am not. Cool. Thanks for inviting me out here, guys. I'm happy to drive you guys around back on Fidari Station and stuff. But don't let the Hoosiers get you down, all right?
Well, if we're ever back and need a taxi, we're gonna call you first, okay?
Oh, please do. Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, guys. And he starts heading off. Looks like he's real busy with Starfinder shit, as everybody is. The Infinite Horizons on this nice big magnetic crane gets deposited down in front of you guys. The dock doors descend, and you guys begin packing on. V, what is the purpose of the blood test? What are you trying to find?
I got told some prophetic bullshit, and I want to just find out about my ancestry.
Midichlorians.
Makeup, is he fully issued?
Okay, you give the blood sample, start the DNA test. while the ship is packing up. You do it now while you have access to the Absalom Station HoloNet, the infosphere, just so that you can process it much faster. 30 minutes later, as you're beginning final check procedures, the test results come back. You are 100% a should.
Okay.
There are ghosts in your blood, and you should do cocaine about it.
Sounds like a good idea.
But yeah, no, you're based off all the information that the league currently has, and it's not a ton, but it's a fair amount on the Ishud prepotency. You are, by their best records, 100% Ishud.
Okay.
Okay. Last check procedures. As you guys come on board, you hear a sing-song voice.
Oh, well, welcome back there, everyone. Sorry for a long voice line for that. They put me in a dark garage, and that was scary for a while. I thought you guys left me again.
You can page me anytime. I thought you could.
I didn't want to be clingy.
Oh, dear.
I have set up my suit so you can integrate with it when we're on station. So next time you can ride along.
Oh, we should, like, have dinner or something first.
Sure.
Feels like a big step.
I mean, you're interfacing with the suit, not me.
I guess. Well, you guys are ready for the final check procedures, right?
Before we get to that, just hold up, Solar.
Oh, what's that little flake's name?
What is that?
His name is Solar. He's my dog. Just
That does not look like a
warning.
dog.
What does Cat Matthew think of Solar, Borgie?
Cat Matthew strolls up at around this point as you are Lion Kinging your dog up in the air. Cat Matthew looks up to it. The dog looks down very slowly. They lock eyes for a couple of seconds. Cat Matthew seems to flex for a moment, like he's flexing his chest muscles. Solar starts backing up.
Cat Matthew's the alpha.
What are you doing, Acosta?
I'm gonna start pushing Solar towards Cat Matthew.
You just put Solar on Cat Matthew?
Play nice. Yeah.
Okay. You put Solar on the floor in front of Cat Matthew. Cat Matthew just stares. You watch as Solar is like begins backpedaling until he's like pressed into your legs. Cat Matthew doesn't even blink, just eyes wide the whole time. And like Solar is afraid to look away. Solar's terrified of Cat Matthew.
You were the pet owner.
Hey, they're gonna get used to each other eventually. I'm gonna pick we'll pick Solar up. And
So Solar once again goes, and Cat Matthew just goes meow. And Solar's like rambling down the hallway.
So wait. Is this dog like ethereal, or is it like?
This looks like a regular corgi.
Okay.
I wonder if we can use it to clean the hole.
To the AI, I'd say access denied to the kitchen.
For the dog? Or the cat?
Both.
Yeah, that was kind of a given.
I mean,
The
the dog
the
is
dog
capable
might
of
melt
making high
everything.
solar radiation. It might be the best sanitation tool you have available to you. It's a really weird sentence, but it's apparently
I don't feel like radiating the food's gonna be a good idea. I'm just gonna put that out there. Yeah. Well, all right there, folks. We'll start the final load procedures. Everybody start buckling in and all that good stuff, and we'll get on the way shortly. I'm gonna start plotting us a course.
Everybody, go ahead and elect an individual to roll a d6. Castrovel is in system, and it will take 1d6 days to get there. Everybody has to vote.
I feel like Piebald
I
does
wanna
roll
roll.
the lowest.
no high. We want a high roll.
We want a high roll so that we can have like shit
RP time.
RP. Okay.
Kilo said first.
Yeah, well, Kilo can go.
Okay, Kilo, 1d6.
4.
That's
It will
decent.
take-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's That's technically average. It will take 4 days for you guys to jump the drift and get to Castrovel. You guys begin loading up. You wait, unfortunately, because of all the traffic, about an hour for Absalom Space Traffic Control to clear you. Plenty of time for you guys to talk, and begin taking off as they switch off the music.
Oh, because I forgot to say it. The only RP that I'll say is looking at Acosta's new arm, say,
Congratulations on being closer to perfection.
Rin, you are right. I'm working on it myself.
Metal is perfection.
Rin, are you a biophobe?
No,
Am I
I
a what?
A biophobe?
He said, Rin, are you a biophobe?
Why would I be afraid of them?
Metal is superior in every way.
All right, Victor, calm down.
All right. You guys begin taking off, getting a fair distance away from Absalom Station before parking. And Holiday starts the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, let's have a good trip.
Just blast forward and jump into the drift once more.
Into the unknown.
That's literally what the song is called. And yeah, you guys begin sailing through the drift. You have 4 days of travel time, plenty of time to talk, play with that new board game you guys got. All sorts
Yes,
of
that is
stuff to
one
be
of the
done.
things I wanted to do.
Feel free to begin, and that gives me a second to sit here and look at some stuff.
There's one thing I wanted to ask. Now that we're back in the drift, do Acosta, Rin, and I feel like our connection to the source is stronger in any way?
Go ahead and roll, all of you, go ahead and roll a charisma check with advantage.
We're going to science out the source. It's not magic, it's science.
Wow, I'm the guy with I'm the Syndaris with the shit charisma. Let's go.
Some people.
I got a 17. My connection's being weird.
No worries, I'm just waiting for Acosta.
I can see your roll, can't see Acosta's.
20 for Acosta. All right, between a 17 and a 20, you guys do feel that you're in the drift. There is no discernible difference between your source powers and being in the drift. It doesn't feel more powerful. It doesn't feel less powerful. In a sense, you're not more powerful, but you feel like your presence of mind, your sensation that when you know things are coming, things are wrong, things are good, reaches further, but that's the extent. The concentrate so hard you feel like you're gonna shit.
Oh, by the way, did everyone see the thing I released on what I did with everyone's rooms?
No, what did you do to my room?
Yours is perfectly in order and clean in every way. And it also has a tucked away dartboard that you can put people's faces on.
I mean, you know, I spend some time just literally just getting bullseye after bullseye after bullseye, having achieved just the mathematical thing of like, here's the amount of force you need to get a bullseye.
I was gonna put my
Yeah,
hard
but
money on you.
get it in particular places on Acosta's face.
I mean, no, I don't hate Acosta enough to have that. I would just keep doing it for a while and then say,
This is a boring game.
and then I would stop.
I was gonna put real money on you using a lightsaber instead of a dart.
No, not on the ship. I know enough. I know better.
Now, first thing Keela does is go to the holosphere and boot up the marksman program.
I think the first thing Sig's going to be doing is getting into his tank and adding a couple new tattoos to the many he already has. One for the Infinite Horizons, and one for Finders Keepers.
Tattooing it? Are we sticking with it?
Well, these represent.
Now we are.
And the crew.
Next day,
They've
Pandora
been-
comes out. I have a new team name.
It's just How about I elect the
not
team
doing
name just
the-
some assholes?
to
In the news, we'll just be
clarify.
some assholes saves the station.
You just get a tattoo of
Clarify.
a chocolate starfish.
He's not doing the words, he's doing something to symbolize the group.
Your mother saved the station.
Holiday will greet us. Oh, hello, some assholes. Welcome back.
We need a better name.
What about humongous?
Acosta, real quick, as you guys are on this journey back. Acosta, you have not been home for a good 5 or 6 years now, and you are directly heading there. In fact, your family pretty much is all around the continent that you're headed to, Kabarat. And that's where Kabarat University is. And you get this kind of weird feeling in your tummy.
Yes.
You don't know what anybody's going to say, what anybody's going to think. Did you take the cargo mission?
I was intending to accept it, yes.
Did the individuals who were there agree to this? Because
This is
it
just
would have
the
been very
weapon one,
obvious.
right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the weapon one, not the fauna one.
Yes. Not the fauna one. That was entirely
Fauna
a
one was
joke
never an
from the
option.
moment Sig proposed it. he knew that it was a horrible idea, and they didn't have. We don't even have the ship to do it.
All
Okay.
we need is a
The
shrink ray.
difficulties with that is, if you load this cargo, it's going to be impossible for the group in total not to know what you're loading.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to
Okay.
just spray paint
Oh,
super
during the
legal,
onboarding-
nondescript, like cargo.
Okay. As you guys are loading up the ship, some dudes in an unmarked van pull up and start loading shit into the smuggler's compartment of your cargo bay.
I'll walk up and just ask.
Excuse me, I'm not familiar with what you're loading. Who exactly authorized this?
Big
The
flathead.
big guy in the yellow suit.
They're good.
I'll just text Sig and say, politely, what the fuck?
Don't worry about it. Payday.
It's a job.
I will accept this answer.
Okay.
A job you're accepting the responsibility for.
Yes.
If it bites me in the ass, then it's they're on the line, not me. I'll be fine.
I thought it was boring.
Yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't do the mega fauna mission. Okay, the mega fauna mission. They're not picking
On a
up like a
planet
frog.
On a planet that had eco-terrorists that turned into the law.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just think there's...
Maybe not the best idea to take that job.
Just shrink it down and they'll never know it was megafauna to begin with. They'll just think we have so many animals. We're like Noah's Ark.
Oh god, they're
Holidays
gonna
Ark.
flag us because we're bringing in external animals onto their planet.
Are these containers locked?
No. No, they are not.
I can see you thinking really hard there, kid. Would you like to have a look inside?
Yeah, I think I would.
Go for it.
There are about 4 crates that have been loaded in. Each crate contains 30 auto rifles.
Who are we giving these to?
They're delivering them to a bar.
Somewhere with money. That's where we're
I
taking.
wanted a grenade launcher.
I swear,
I
I swear
wanted
to
the
God.
ammo.
No,
For the
actually,
grenade launcher.
Rin's gonna stare at them and then just turn and say,
If one of these ends up shooting me, I'm going to kill you.
Fair.
I mean, why? Sure, whatever.
I don't know who's getting them as long as they're not shooting at me.
I'll deactivate you before you can try.
He's just like, that's fine. You can kill me if you
I
get
just
drop
stare at Pandora, trying to figure out if that's a legit threat or if she's bluffing, because I genuinely don't know.
Anything else you guys want to talk about during this trip? Got 4 days to.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Cat Matthew at some point to Ephraim in the med lab and get him checked out.
I would also join in on this with Solar Board.
Okay. Getting Cat Matthew checked out first. As previously mentioned, Ephraim, you find those conditions and get them taken care of. So Cat Matthew was sick, but is now better. Before you even knew that he was sick. Getting Solar checked out, the medical scanner that you use explodes.
Good.
You're gonna need a replacement. Solar goes, "Rip."
You're
paying for that.
So I rolled some things, and they were funny. Can I get Rin Costanza and Pandora to all roll a D100?
Also, yeah, at some point I'm gonna give Sig a more in-depth, like decking in, like lining in, procedure. But wow,
with the two, with the two.
But then it can be another time.
2.
A 2, a 96, and a 66.
Acosta got a 69, and Costanza gets a 96.
Nice.
One sec.
Did we ever figure out that puzzle box? Did we try?
I have that. That needs to be worked on. That's something that I'll probably do during this journey.
I want to fidget with it.
Fusion state a new rule. Solar should not be allowed near the engineering quarters.
Yeah, no, he's staying away from my entire rig.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, keep him out of my room and away from the engineering quarters, please.
Can we
Pandora.
just keep him in, like, Jello?
Sig uses Solar as a cleaning device.
Pandora loses interest.
Beam
Pandora
that.
loses interest in the puzzle box the minute she realizes Cenobites aren't going to come out of it.
On the second day of travel, as you guys are just going about your normal things, occasionally now and then other ships will come across you in the drift, moving in different directions, coming the opposite direction. It happens from time to time. It's an infinite plane. What's a bit unusual is sailing and then about a mile and a half out watching a Corpse Fleet cruiser jump into the drift, cracking in right in front of you. You guys don't slow your pace. It's not really time to do that, but you begin arming weapons. Or do you want to? Because beginning to arm weapons by turning on the targeting lock system alerts other nearby ships.
How close is the Corpse Fleet vessel?
It's about a mile and a half away, and it's coming at you, and you're going at them, but you're not going to collide. If it continues, you're going to move past each other.
Can we go such a way to, like, because aren't most of their guns on the top half of their ship? Can we go
There are guns all over the goddamn thing.
Like,
everyone get to their stations and we'll hold, I think, is the best
Yeah,
option.
there's no way they don't know we're here, right?
Well, I mean, even just an initial scan, they'll visually see you.
Better question. Do we even remotely stand a chance at a fight this thing?
Based on the performance that you guys have had so far with the upgrades that you had against a cruiser, it'd be a tough fight, but you have a chance of pulling out. The problem is that battles in the drift aren't super fun.
Can I run a program that casts disguise self on the ship to make it another Corpse Fleet?
I feel like that's a worse idea.
You want to make the Infinite Horizons appear as a Corpse Fleet vessel?
No,
No. Nobody else speak.
I would
What did
check
you
with
wanna
the
do, Pandora?
captain first. I'd be like, do we want it? And we can just blend in and Costanza. We could be just one of the boys.
I think that'll lead to a lot of questions, so I'm gonna say no.
I'm great at talking. Like we could just put me on the thing.
I personally think this is a great idea. I've really been practicing my accent.
Okay, yeah, she's got it.
I want to see if it were possible to hold an action as a ship to arm if they arm, basically.
Okay, fair enough. You do so. Holiday sounds
like
very
this is my
disappointed, but
two.
you guys move on. You guys begin slowly approaching. 2,000 feet out. 1,000 feet out.
Spitting distance.
You feel the scanning computer pass over you guys for a second. You don't feel their targeting lock come on. Their weapons are moving. 500 feet out. Still divided by at least 1,000 feet. I'm just talking about distance from them to you.
Can we hail them? Is that
Do
a
you
good or
want
a
to?
bad? I don't know. I mean, what if
Hailing
this is
them
an
would
abandoned
contact
ship?
you with whoever is on the bridge.
I think wait unless.
Just be cool about this, guys.
This
It
is where
could
you
be-
sit quietly and just float by.
But it could be an abandoned ship with a bunch of cool
It
stuff
just
on
dropped
it.
into the- hold on, wait a second. She makes a good point. It could be. This could be a derelict ship. Two problems. How did it get into the drift in front of you? You watched it jump in. Second, as you're getting into visual range, there are Corpse Fleet members actively walking across the hull.
I was gonna say they also
Derelict.
scanned us. So
Let's
maybe there's
scan for
something-
life forms,
They
guys.
did skin. They did skin.
Done.
Oh god, he's muted.
Fifthing they're steering.
There you go.
What are they doing? Do they look like they're in a rush or anything? Like as we see them walk around?
Make an insight check.
A 19.
50-50. 50% that they're in a rush, 50% that this is an intimidation tactic. Because they don't have to arm the guns, because you just see 50 corpses just hanging on the side of the ship, all of them directly watching the cockpit as you guys pass by. You notice in their hands, just in case, they seem to have magnetic grapples that a couple of them are swinging around, like they're going to launch them at your ship and attempt to board, but you guys don't activate your guns, they don't activate theirs, you pass each other by.
I'm gonna use the disguise
do.
self thing. Not to be a Corpse Fleet ship, but just to have a giant like mural on the side being like, hello!
Okay.
We're not doing anything.
You do some editing with the ship's paint and write, hello, we're not doing anything. And a couple of the guys who were spinning the grapples just stop. One looks at the other and then back down to the ship. And
And then
very
I play
carefully,
EDM music.
you're going to bump EDM music on the local broadcast.
Yeah.
The
As the ship
Infinite,
drifts by.
Infinite Horizons has been replaced with the party ship.
You continue
party
to
boat.
drift. You continue to drift by, and you watch as a undead orc face just mauled off, just looks at you guys passing by, and looks at you as if you are disgusting, and just turns around and goes back into the ship.
We're the degenerates.
And you guys drift on. On the
Don't
second
worry,
day,
guys,
anything.
I totally diffused the situation.
Can I add
On the
You're
second,
welcome.
go ahead.
the next the requisition, like opaque windows so they can't see us? Thought.
No, I want them to see.
You want them to know.
I like
This is
it when they
about-
want.
This is about power.
Anybody want to talk about it? If you guys want on the side session stuff, you can like talk as if you had time on the ship. That's totally fine. This will also end at a point that you can talk. The second day continues. Third day proceeds without incident. Fourth day.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
just one more thing that I wanted to see if we could just sort of try was the board game.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
can
you
we can
definitely
have
can.
a board game. Please make a channel for which of the three are we doing, guys?
There are 3 campaigns of the board game.
There are
Fantasy
3
Setting.
campaigns.
Where was it posted
Wait,
again?
no.
It's in the Holosphere Star Dex.
I know somebody's already going to do it, so I'll go ahead and say it. Somebody's going to hit all 3 settings at the same time.
Me. I will.
Where
Get
did I
every
post it?
benefit.
Is it on group text? What tab is it under?
I'm trying to find it.
What would happen if Lord of the Rings happened in modern time, but the planet was
You know
shifted to
what's
the future?
hilarious about this board game is for all of us to play it together at once, it takes 8 hours. And its benefits last for 8 hours.
It's under
It's
Star
pinned,
Dex.
Yeah, Holosphere Star Dex. The 3 modes are Imperial Conquest. So it's called Imperial Conquest. The 3 modes are Might and Magic, Machines and Men, and Science and Secrets.
Couldn't think of any other M's, huh?
The third M was sad.
That doesn't start with an M.
Not in this language.
But yeah, I'll make a channel, and you guys can play in-game D&D with each other.
Okay, well, hang on. Do we want
Very much
mysticism? Do we want
Machines
advantage on
and men.
attacks against constructs? I don't think we're going to be fighting any constructs. That's just me. I think we're going to probably get into mysticism.
I mean, we are severely lacking in mysticism, which is something that we might need.
Or
Wait,
life
wait,
science,
wait.
physical science, tech, or engineering checks.
We're facing against an enemy that can manipulate machines and constructs.
Using magic.
Also, to
Yeah.
make it fair, it'll take 8 hours to set up, but I'll give you the benefit for 24 hours.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that is something.
For me, technically, I understand the whole science part of it. I think, like, Pandora has gotten as far as she can with the science aspect of whatever we're fighting. It's the mysticism aspect of it
Guys.
that's, like, all over her head.
No, you know what? That's dumb. We're not thinking about the mechanical benefits of this D&D game we're going to be doing. Do we want a low tech, a medium tech, or a high tech thing for this game that we're about to play in a game?
Low tech.
Low tech. No, I agree because it's
we're,
the opposite.
we're
of what
currently
we have.
playing high tech.
Machine.
Yeah.
Exactly. We need to pretend that we're something else. We're gonna be robots and shit playing a low fantasy universe or high fantasy universe where there's no such thing as a crossbow or something. And we're gonna completely misunderstand the technology they had at the time.
I
To the
hit them
point-
with a stick.
Yeah, we're gonna like the same way. Like I don't know what they had in the Middle Ages. What was or was not invented? They probably had like trebuchets back in what like 800 AD. I don't
I
know.
shoot them with my stick gun.
No, we're doing that.
Magic is heresy, Deuce Vault.
Yeah, no, and none of us understand magic, so it's like I'm gonna drop Meteor Swarm. That's a 6th level spell. You know that tracks. Historically, that tracks.
Holiday will DM for you,
Yes.
helping you guys run through the game, explaining the rules because she seems to be familiar with them at the very least, doing what she can to help guide you through the process.
Nerd chip.
And you guys have a fuck of a time. You can talk about it on the side, and we can even run a one shot if that's what you want to do. So I'll
Yes.
leave it out for now. But at some point we'll run a one shot.
Yes.
Not on a Sunday, so like, unless a bunch of people were missing, but we'll run a one shot at some point. But yeah, you guys genuinely catch on quick and enjoy the game. Some would say that Holiday is a good DM. He's probably one of the best out there. Continuing on.
I think that was the most shameless plug you've ever given yourself.
You deserve it.
It's not me, it's Holiday. On the 4th day, you guys waking up from the bender that was playing this fucking game for 12 hours because it was a hell of a time, drinking and having fun and really getting the bond with everybody. With a 96 Costanza. Boop, 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 boop. You get a scan that picks up of an incoming projectile. Not hostile, not targeted, drifting slowly. And by slowly, I mean approximately 250 miles an hour. You're on a minor intercept course with it. Can I get somebody to go ahead and make one of the science officers to make one of a science check or a tech or engineering check?
Can I use joystick to try to control it?
I will
It's a
get to that in-
program.
I will get to that in a moment if it is something that you can control.
Make a targeting
You'll
check.
find out based on the scan.
I think Ephraim's still away, right?
Yeah.
I can do engineering check for anything.
I mean, I can do a tech or engineering. I have a +7,
Drive active.
and I'm a science officer.
Go for
Do I
it.
have it with advantage or just normal?
For this case, go ahead with advantage. It wants to be found, is the thing. It is
Well-
beaconing very loudly.
I don't know where it is.
There is some sort of fast-moving projectile with a signal coming out of it.
Great.
You have enough equipment to get on an intercept course with it, if that's what you want to do.
It's Voyager 1.
We have
Yeah.
we have such good track records with
I
things
want
that want to be
Sis
found.
Missile!
Okay. You intercept using a couple of different devices that you have in your disposal and begin reeling it into the starboard side cargo bay. Pulling it in, it's very strange looking. It looks like a pyramid that has just been flying through space. And you kind of set it on the ground of the cargo bay here. And as you guys are looking at it, you watch as it hisses and begins unfolding. In front of you is a tiny obelisk of some kind that is engraved with symbols. Can I get everybody to make either a history, science, or culture check if you're proficient?
Is this recalling knowledge?
Never mind. Provision.
Not recalling knowledge, no.
Okay.
The mysticism?
Mysticism also works. Pandora with a nat fucking 20.
I saw this on the internet.
There was a lot of conspiracies about PMs.
You guys have no idea what the fuck you're looking at, except Pandora. Pandora, at the very top of this obelisk, what looks like the crest of it, isn't the crest at all. It's detachable. As you reach out and pluck it, it's some kind of crystal. You feel it in your hands, and you know, despite not knowing how it works, this thing contains data. You begin thinking about ways that you could process or extract it. With Sig's help, you modify a projector to be able to house this as a focusing lens instead of the normal lens. And you plug it in, and what begins to play for you as you toggle through it appears to be exactly what Sig called. It is a probe. It is a probe of an ancient race fired off into the stars. Not a race any of you have ever heard of before. Translating as best you can, because while the script is vaguely elvish in nature, they call themselves the Shulzea. And it appears to be a record of what they look like. There is a very distinct sexual dimorphism where the women and the men appear very different. The women appearing on average 2.5 feet taller than the men. Very Amazonian-like. Elven features with only 4 fingers on each hand. And elongated eyes, almost tubular eyes that go out much further. Comprehend languages actually does work for this, and you continue reading. Is exactly what it says. The message that is transcribed amongst these pictures of their culture, examples of their music, pieces of their art, pictures of them in their cities, is we fire this, our hope, into the stars so that one day someone will find us and we can join a community out there with you. And if we can't, may you know that you are never alone out there and we can one day all be connected. You don't understand the star date that's listed. They're not using the typical pattern. But what is listed are star chart coordinates for the planet that this was fired from. And lining it up with the galactic map you have, it is literally a galaxy away.
Fuck Castrovel. Let's go here.
There's no way you're getting there with the drift. There's no drift anchor out there. Anything. This is a galaxy away. This is...
Well, we all like each other well enough. We don't mind spending, 2 years together
not
here?
a light year. We're talking several hundred thousand light years away. Verging into the millions of light years. This thing has been traveling a very, very long time. And it is more confirmation, as suggested, that there is life outside this galaxy. This is a decently sized find, and considering you're heading to Cabaret University, what a fucking thing to show up with.
Or we do that still. or we just fuck with them. We know exactly where it is. We fire like a canister that just says like, "We are coming. Prepare yourselves."
I mean, taking the time over an hour, Sig plots the trajectory inside the drift that would be needed to fire it back in the same direction. Vaguely.
Wait,
Hi.
do we want to scare them?
If you
so much?
angle it into a ball and just carve a note into it that says, "Thanks for the directions."
That's not concerning to receive back.
The civilization, who very well could have been dead for millions of years by now.
Absolutely.
The creatures that now inherit the earth, the meek and the weak, rising up saying "fuck" as they figure out that they can still read.
I mean, the robots and us, like, maybe me could get there one day.
Maybe.
That's a project I'm not willing to take the time on.
That's Pandora's
We're
retirement
not pulling
plan.
Mass Effect Andromeda here.
No.
But yeah, you have that, so it's a thing. With a 2 on a D100,
Oh.
on your 5th day,
I thought this was supposed to take 4 days.
I know what I said.
What did he? Wait, on the what day? I didn't
I
hear.
don't know, the 5th day.
You should have theoretically jumped out of the drift by now, but it seems there was some kind of miscalculation of some kind. But you're near where you need to be. You can tell that much. There are lots of things that you can see in the drift all the time. Chunks of other planes, as you guys have heard by now. Ships coming and going. Probes from ancient civilizations. What's appearing on the horizon before you is something else entirely. It is certainly a chunk of a plane, but it is also a building. A very large building. Floating on a chunk of island of some kind. Still with grass on it. You have no choice but to float nearer to it, and as you do so, you begin looking, doing your scans. It appears to be some sort of massive temple, a church of some kind, a holy site, if only by the mystical carvings that are across all the stones on the outside. These massive marble-like pillars that rise up and cross each other at the top, lining the way to the temple itself. The doors are ajar. The temple itself has to be about 200 feet tall, 500 feet across at the base. The doors are open, if only barely. It is not uncommon to salvage things in the drift. Do you guys want to disembark and see what it is?
Why don't we scan for life forms first?
Fine.
Yes.
You take a minute to begin a life form scan. Nothing noted. The only life form that it detects is the grass that is growing on the outside. It
Wait.
only identifies it as plant life.
We're in the drift?
Yes.
You're in the drift
How does
still.
that get sunlight? How does grass grow in the drift?
No idea.
Let's go. This is weird. I want to see it.
I do too.
I admit the curiosity gets me every time.
True. I'm
Okay.
definitely here.
You guys begin a spacewalk, armoring up and getting on your Evo suits. Anybody staying behind?
I'll stay.
Okay.
No.
You guys tether to the ship, being able to be wound back in as needed, and begin floating out. There is minor gravity here on this island as you land on it. Little bouncy, but there's some gravity here. As you begin to walk these massive columns with these crosses at the top, lining the way, these sconces in between, as you guys begin walking the beaten path, burst into fire. Burst into fire. Into fire. You begin walking up to the temple, up to the steps. There is a beautiful engraving above the door that has just it's been chiseled the fuck away. Somebody has actively and painstakingly taken time to destroy this. The name on this temple. The doors are partially ajar, but you can see now that you're up close, somebody had both tried to pile rocks in front of the door and seal it closed by nailing into stone pieces of wood to try to block it and close it off. Carved into one of the into the wood is a language. I don't know what anybody reads here.
I'll do comprehend languages.
Comprehend languages again? Okay. Okay, so you walk up to it, and because it says you must be touching the surface that the words are written on, you touch it, and begin dragging your fingers across as your eyes begin translating it through all active and known texts. It is a known one, but it is a very ancient one. And all it says is, do not go the fuck in there.
Well, they really shouldn't have said that, should they?
Well,
Yeah.
we don't know. She read it. We don't necessarily know what it says yet.
She
I
didn't
tried
tell
the
us.
door.
It's already partially ajar.
Oh, cool. Don't worry, everyone. Perfectly safe. I think it's just like some old rich guy's tower. Let's go in.
Out of curiosity, did you tell us what it said, or did you just keep that to yourself?
Oh, I kept it to myself. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so you're just going.
I love
it. Are you leading the charge inside?
She's leading her own charge inside.
I'm just it just says something about like Lord Duke something Stein. It's a weird. Yeah, it's fine. His address is like 401K or something.
I'm already heading in.
You get inside. Pandora goes inside. Who else is going?
I'll
I feel like this is a bad idea, and I would walk inside.
What are you doing, Kilo?
Yeah,
Exciting her.
I mean, go for it. I feel like there's a general level of distrust around Pandora.
What are you talking about? I trust her wholeheartedly.
You know something's up.
V knows something. Yeah, V knows something's up.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's something always up. So is it possible to ever really know?
Yes, not.
If the house always smells like fire, do you know if Pandora has set it on fire?
It's like it's.
I know
like
something's
inciting-
up because she starts cackling as we walk in.
Okay.
It's like inciting Bugs Bunny. It's like, why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
Don't you even worry about it.
Going inside, it is an extra dimensional space. You can tell that much immediately because it is fucking huge in this place. Like you can't see the ceiling tall and wide, expansive. The very first thing that catches your eye, besides numerous hallways going to different places, can I get everybody to make a perception check real quick?
Sure.
Nice. Rin, only you perceive this. Only you hear it at the barest levels of what your audio sensors can pick up. Just a very faint, very far away scream of just primal frustration.
Do I know
You have
direction?
no idea where it came from. No idea. Okay. Somewhere deeper in, you guys are next to the front door. The second thing that is, go ahead.
I mean, I'll if it's important, I'll wait.
Yeah, because the second thing is that about 30 feet from the front door, there is a pedestal with a big leather-bound book on it that is open up to a page.
In case anyone else wasn't aware, there is someone screaming inside of the temple.
Yeah, and there's a totally ominous book there.
Can I identify this book with my scouter glasses?
You gotta get closer.
Of course I am.
Okay. Getting closer, it just identifies it as a book. Looking at the ledger at the top, the words begin translating for you, and it says guest check-in.
Ooh.
But I don't
And there are
want to be
names
rude.
all over the book and in the pages.
No dates?
No dates.
Any what are the general names? Are they like, I realize that they're names, they don't necessarily mean words, but like modern, ancient, in languages that we don't comprehend.
Modern,
Kinda
ancient
tell the
languages
race
you
of
don't
the
comprehend.
What if I sign in as Seymour Butts?
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Huge ass. This is how we die.
No, I don't
Do you
think
want to?
I don't think we should sign into this book, guys. Screaming coming from inside.
Notably, I'm still at the door.
Pandora, I know you love making terrible decisions, but maybe not this time.
This does seem particularly bad.
Can I make a history check to see if any of this rings a bell to me?
Oh, fine.
I just want to know if any of the names
Go
are
ahead.
familiar, like historically.
Well, speaking of historically, 21 Sig, any of this ringing a bell? Very fucking faintly. There is a legend. There are all sorts of legends in the Drift. You've heard of a couple, and you'd have to take pieces of them, like pieces from like 3 different legends to make what you're seeing right here. But it's plausible, but there are legends of buildings in the Drift with strange things to entice people in that suck them in and trap them forever. This could very well be one of those things. Or it could have riches beyond your wildest dreams.
I've heard of creepypastas like this.
Go ahead and make a history check as well, Rin, seeing if any of the names hold significant value.
I mean, I'm not the one to do this. I got a 0. That's an 18, though.
Okay. 18. Flipping through the pages.
Any Syndias, maybe, or...
Wait, and you keep flipping, and you literally just grab the pages and bend them, and it just does this forever. It just keeps flipping forever. It never reaches the back of the book. There are just forever pages. Looks like the book is possible to close, but there are forever pages with forever names.
This is perhaps too many red flags even for us.
What are we really doing here?
There's too much magic in this
on the
place.
lectern with the book, there is an inkwell with a quill and a little bell.
Oh, there is a bell? I was literally gonna ask if there's a bell, because I was like,
There is a bell.
I really want to ring the bell, guy. What if
ding
we
the bell.
send? But oh,
You ring the bell?
It has begun.
sink!
What? There's a bell!
One sec.
No, it's the best. I was going to do it.
What I love is that someone designed this with like a billion red flags, and like I guess there's like someone in the backseat just going, "It's amazing how many of them just do it anyway."
I was gonna have my little boy fly in there and ring the bell while we were outside of the door, but like this is much better.
Ring the bell. A sense of peace just suddenly washes over all of you.
Oh.
The air gets much more comfortable. In fact, there is air here. You can breathe here without your Evo suits. And as soon as you ring the bell, you hear of footsteps coming from somewhere deeper in this very dark place that is just barely illuminated by light. And slowly becoming more distinct out of the darkness is a short, maybe like 5'1" girl with her hair in braids in this very nice white and pink robe with her arms tucked into the sleeves as she walks up. Hi, everyone. Something I can help you with? Are you here for the... Are you checking in? Festivities? Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I misheard.
Wondering where this is, or what this was.
Oh, well, where is subjective? When? Subjective. What? Well, this is a place where people are brought to by she who knows best to take care of issues that they may be having.
Oh, no thanks, then.
You sure? Free mugs.
Yes. What?
Free mugs?
Free mug. What do they look like?
And she starts fishing around in her clothes, and as she does so, an arrow flies out of the air and just hits her in the neck, and she goes, spews blood and just hits the ground. Some guy on the second floor goes, "You gotta fucking go, now!" Turns around and just begins running, not towards the door.
I hate kids.
I think we should go.
Let's go.
Did that guy seem familiar at all?
She just pulls the arrow out of her neck as she pushes herself off the floor. Oh, sorry about that.
No worries, but I don't think we'll be
Does this place have a name? Does this place have a name?
Oh, yes. You weren't familiar when you walked in?
No,
There wasn't like a sign on the door.
Oh, did they damage the sign again?
Yeah, you might want to fix. Can you
gotta
go
fix that.
outside and fix it?
I can't, but I'll get somebody to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
then send me.
Welcome to Tiffany's Team Building Temple.
You guys know who that is? I don't.
We gotta go, guys.
We gotta go!
It's Borderlands.
No, this is me. This is me as a DM.
Oh.
This is my DMing that I have thrust upon.
Yeah, V's gonna get the hell out.
Rin, you stop on a page, you just see a name that says Clat, it goes away, disappears. You hear somewhere far in the middle distance,
Is the screaming slightly Irish and sounds like
Yes.
it's coming from a small hand?
Yes, it does sound like that. That's exactly what I was describing.
Oh no!
You guys gotta fucking go!
We gotta go!
We left the stove on.
Oh, that happens all the time. You can come right back in when you're ready.
Yeah, I'll take a couple pictures.
You
and
guys
a
start
business
jogging to the
card.
door.
I'll take our business card. We might need this at some point.
Take the business card. There wasn't one, but there is one now as soon as you ask for it.
Yeah.
You take it, you guys jog outside, and as you slam the door behind you, you look back, and it's just a doorway with no temple or anything behind it.
I feel like we have narrowly avoided something terrible.
Yeah, I
feel
have
like that
this
was the
weird
wonderful
sixth
experience
sense.
that I will tell my grandchildren. If I have
I feel like this is part of my past life. I don't know. I have a weird connection.
There is a
feeling with
strange
this.
sensation of like you've been here before.
I feel like I've been Tiffany. It's weird.
You guys get reeled back into the ship, and as soon as you're back in and everybody gets back to their seats, you're not in the drift. Doesn't look like you were ever in the drift. You've probably just been parked out in space for about half a day. But it is what it be. You guys see Castrovel and you start navigating towards it. One moment.
I would have spent time shoring up our smuggler's hold as well.
Okay.
I'm sure it's up to snuff as best I can.
How long were they in there to accustom me?
Equal amount of time. Yeah, no
I
time.
put it together. I put it together seconds before you said it. I was like, no, no, you wouldn't.
I would, and you almost signed in,
I wish we did.
and that would have been an arc.
I'm so upset that I.
They would have been like,
that I-
"Don't worry, we'll park your car for you." As the ship gets reeled into the temple.
I rolled a 1d2 on a 1. I was gonna make a bad choice, and on a 2 I wasn't. And I
was
rolled a 2,
prepared
and I
to
was like,
slam
"Fuck!"
that door shut.
I was just gonna spend the whole time Rin bullying the shit out of Acosta and being like,
why does this seem so terribly familiar?
Like,
I will say, Stig, there with that name in mind, you have heard of the Temple of Tea. That's all that they call it because it has T-shaped pillars outside that I might have mentioned several times, and there is legend that many a great pirate has gone missing inside the Temple of Tea, never to be seen again, searching for a treasure that was never there. Some say that one man escaped, and all he said before he died was, "The treasure was the friendship we made along the way."
Was.
Of course.
She only goes after defunct groups. She only goes after people that can't get along.
But you guys begin moving towards Castrovel. Acosta, this place, this great green gem in space, is your home. Hot, humid, and stirred by intense storms and tides, the jungles and swamps of Castrovel abound with an unusually robust variety of life. From enormous saurian beasts to deadly mold storms capable of devouring whole settlements. Of the many sentient races to make their home on the fertile world, the most prominent are the Lashuntas, followed closely by the Elves and the Formians. All three civilizations highly connected and cosmopolitan, thanks to a network of ancient magical teleportation circles called Ayudara. Traditionally, Castrovel's Lashunta have organized into independent city-states, with a variety of governmental styles, elected matriarchies being the most common. In the modern era, however, local governance of smaller cities often takes a back seat to larger corporate concerns, with regional or interplanetary companies buying out officials or setting up their own independent privatized settlements. With these... sorry, somebody sent me a message. Oh, jeez. Privatized settlements. While these economic ties mean Lashunta nationalism rarely leads to outright warfare anymore, rampant industrial espionage and corporate influence over public policy present growing concerns for residents. Of the city-states still capable of going toe-to-toe with corporate power, the most significant is Kabarat, the shining jewel of the Western Sea and the planet's largest spaceport. From the city's threefold house, Lady Morana Kesh and her chief consort, Granteos, pull a delicate web of strings to keep the planet from becoming a corporate free-for-all. Also notable for their power and influence are the city's many universities, renowned for their vast pre-vanishing archives. They train some of the best explorers, researchers, and starship navigators in the system. Architecturally, the city is a work of art, its ancient walls and of crushed and glittering shells blending seamlessly with modern additions. The sense of timelessness, of connection with the planet's long history, is a matter of pride to many of the residents who exult in the sounds of soldiers training in the battle yards, of scholars arguing good-naturedly on university steps, and the roar and hiss of the landing starships that have largely replaced water-going vessels in Ship's End. While most visitors to the planet enter through Kabarat's port, numerous portals throughout the city connected closely with other powerful Lashunta settlements, such as isolated Laobao Mesa, Komenea in the Floating Shards, Jabask the Unbroken, or Kindares, with its endless waterfalls and dangerous cliffside corpuscum excavations. Where we go is the jewel of the Western Sea, Kabarat. Huh?
Let's go find some megafauna.
Home to Kabarat University of Xenoanthropology and Xenoarchaeology, and more than that, you can tell, based off Acosta's nervous shifting and sweating, his home. You guys begin descending towards the planet's surface, having to pass through the space police first, who do a quick scan of your ship's cargo holds. Let's see if
I
they
want
find
to.
anything.
I want to just use implant data to try to hide our gun. Like, have all the cargo accounted for, but have it like be obviously not firearms.
Well,
so like, and if they find that, like,
so they're okay. I
can implant it in their computers, and then like, if it says guns, overwrite it.
Okay. There is a short moment where they do a secondary scan of you guys and give you a green light to go ahead. They failed the search DC by 1.
Oh my gosh.
And that was after I increased it because of Pandora.
It's supposed to be able to overwrite things.
I know.
No,
that's why they're letting you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
You increased the DC. You made it harder for
It's
them.
already hard to find because it's in a smuggler's compartment, and you made the DC for them harder because of what you
I-
did.
I-
but they
I-
rolled
I
a natural
got it flipped.
19 plus modifiers.
Oh god.
And they barely missed finding it. It is incredibly difficult to smuggle things into Castrovel. If it was any bigger than the cargo you had, you guys would have been fucked hard.
I give myself a fist bump.
Okay. I didn't read everything off of this, so you guys are free to do so, but here is the planet of Castrovel. As the sheet, with a map of continents.
Oh, good lord, the amount of planet maps we're gonna have by the end of this.
We're fine. It's only a planet. It's not that big.
And then each of the continents on the planet might have maps too.
So you may have a question where you're wondering what a day or a year is. A day is an Earth day, 24 hours, but a year is only 6 months on Castrovel.
Okay.
Normal
Spins quick.
rotation. But small.
Normal rotation, yes.
Normal rotation, small
orbit.
Tiny orbit.
But yeah, there's way more information on that sheet than what I said. You guys are more than free to read more of it, but just trying to get to a conclusion point, let me take us off the drift map as we descend down to Castrovel.
How old is Acosta?
How old is what?
Acosta.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Are you 12?
You're 12?
No, Castrovel does their ages by the league standard time frame. They celebrate their birthdays if you still live on Castrovel different, but you go by league standard.
How old is he now?
12
Years?
Give me 1 sec.
Unfortunately, you age twice as fast here, so we should be quick.
Yeah. Acosta, where did you say you were from again? Like where on Castrovel?
He's from here on Cabaret.
Okay.
Specifically where on Cabaret, you mean?
Yeah, I'm also
Cabaret.
looking for it on the map.
I'm real
Oh,
curious
there
and
it is.
interested in
I
these
see it
gun
now.
placements.
Oh yes, let me please describe them for a moment. Cabaret, if you look on the left side of the map, look at the Western Sea, look south past the Storm Shield Mountains, you'll eventually see the dot that is Cabaret.
Yeah, it's like near the center of the map.
This is the city that he's from. This is the city-state. Lashunta divide into city-states because of how divided the planet was for many years. Here's the interesting thing about Castrovel. It's a fucking death world. For all intents and purposes, megafauna should rightfully dominate this place, which is why every city has 20, 25, 30-foot high walls with high-powered 50 caliber turrets spaced like every 30 feet apart. Because it is not unusual to have your city besieged by a pack of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Not one, a pack. Or have mountain-sized pterodactyl decide they want to take a fly over the city. They're driven off by the sonic disruptors. There is constant protections on the city, on all the city-states. And this was made more difficult because for many, many years, Castrovel and its Lashunta were at war with the Formians, who are an insect race that live protected in the jungles, not subject to the many dangers that the megafauna pose. But everybody's at peace now and things are fine, and definitely nobody is calling for the Formians to be killed. Not at all.
Yay,
you guys
future.
land in the spaceport. You guys are well taken care of. Dropping down on the platform, somebody very excitedly starts waving to your ship as you guys are starting to disembark.
Acosta's mom.
No.
Oh.
Who you guys see is a Lashunta with a couple of trailing blue neck tattoos that come up like onto the cheeks and on the jawbone, shaved side of the head with shock of big bright blue hair coming down over the side, and she starts waving. Hi, you guys are the Finders Keepers Starfinder people, right?
Yeah, that's us.
Hi, I am Ozelia Ayana. I'm your contact for you getting sent to Cabaret University. Please tell me I don't have the wrong ship. I'm going to be very embarrassed.
You do not.
Nodding, you're not saying words. I'm assuming yes. I can't read your mind unless you ask as consent. Okay, cool. Okay, well, awesome. Like I said, my name is Ozeli. You can call me Oz if you want to, if that's easier for you. I am a xenosociology student, postdoctoral, and I'm going to get you guys to Cabaret University. Unfortunately, it is a little late in the day, and the university is kind of winding down right now. But the Starfinders hooked you guys up, and you have a very nice hotel to stay at. And I'm going to come with you to get you there and answer any questions that you might have. And here's a picture of Ozelli.
Ooh.
Don't make me spray. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't make me break out the spray bottle again. I've got a holster for it now.
The ship's turrets, which are now just squirt guns. She goes, yeah, we have a transport waiting for you guys. All your parking and stuff is paid for, so don't worry. The Starfinders got you covered on that one. And your friends, Starfinders, are friends at the university. So, did anybody mention the giant fucking probe they have?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you just bring it up like that? Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, we
Yeah.
found a probe of a civilization a
By
galaxy
the way,
away.
there was this weird ancient elven probe that we found.
She's like,
We sent back a threat.
no. What?
It could be interpreted.
Did you? Just
You say
to be
probably
safe, you
don't
said the
speak-
threat? Is that what you said?
Well, I mean, in so many words.
She starts hyperventilating, her cheeks start to get flush.
It probably won't be there for many light years.
It'll be millions and millions of years before that practical
Also,
joke
I
ends up being
calculated
found out.
trajectory to intercept what we sent, so you can do that if you want.
Okay. She takes a look at it and she's like, this is, first of all, huge find. Fantastic work. I'll put your name on it. I'll bring it to the university later. You sent the threat back?
I mean,
Just specifying it wasn't a joke.
if they want to interpret it that way.
It's not this.
What did you say?
It said, thanks for the direction. We're coming.
It
We're
is
gonna
in
lip
fact
seize
a
at the
joke.
end.
It is in fact a joke, but it'll be some time before the punchline is revealed.
You guys actually did that. That's anything.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't know if we did or not, but
It's
if we're
gonna be
going for
millions
it.
of years. It's fine.
I felt like I might
There's
have
going to
had
be
a
no
say in
lasting
that, but-
repercussions for Campaign 4. It's fine. She starts packing everything up and starts loading you guys into a dropship. Costa, you get like this funny feeling in your stomach that you constantly had. Have you guys ever heard of the Jade Tower before? Costa, you have. This is the nicest hotel on the planet. Like, this is the nicest hotel on the planet. And without a word, she lifts off with the driver taking you, heading high and it looks like they have very strict air lanes for people to use, and begin heading off to the Jade Tower Hotel, where you guys are dropped off and deposited. And this is what you see. This beautiful, fully green structure that is built into the side of a mountain here on the banks of the Western Sea, glittering silver and glass, but a dome, some kind of hard light dome around the place to protect from various wildlife and prevent it from disrupting, because from the outside, it doesn't look like anything. One sec, something I had set up is there. Constant sounds of animal, wildlife, and activity, the rolling of the waves. But from the outside of this dome, it just looks like a mountain. Yet you notice that there are sonic disruptors to kind of like dissuade animals from coming too close. Every care has been taken to make sure that this place is as green as possible. And as you guys begin descending onto the landing pad, immediately you are greeted by dozens of servants who rush out. Finders keepers, it is very nice to finally meet you. We have heard of your deeds on Fadari Station and have been waiting to serve you hand and foot. Your bags? Anybody have bags?
I mean, I have a whole computer rig.
We can set that up for you. And they get somebody out there to start carrying it inside. They have all your rooms set up already. Another vessel lands beside you guys and starts unpacking. Acosta, as you kind of got this nervous feeling in your belly, thinking about what to do, you feel a clasp on your shoulder, and you hear someone say, "Good sir, do you mind carrying my bags for me?" You turn and look at this human. This older gentleman with white and gray mustache that bleeds into mutton chops, rigid and stiffly defined in older military regalia, carrying two what look like gun cases in each hand, and he goes, as he's looking at you as you're staring at him, I'm sorry, I don't speak Lashuntan. Could you take my bags for me, good sir?
Do I have my new arm?
I'm sorry? Do I see? Yeah, you have your new arm.
Okay, I'm gonna say in English. Yeah, my arm is kind of broken, so just observe this.
You would chip the blade out of it?
Yeah, to like flip them off for a second.
So you nut your source blade to like flip him off like Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks you up and down. God, I'm terribly sorry. I did not take you for a Syndias. Much respect to your people. So you do speak the common tongue then, yes?
I put the blade away and I say, I'm not a servant.
No, bring it back out. This is a jolly good show. Bring it back out.
No.
He puts his bags down and he starts rolling up his sleeves. It's been a minute since I had a good fight. And he starts rolling his arm inside.
I feel like at this point, Stig just stomps behind him.
V would come behind Sig and be like, no, I want to see where this goes. Please.
Platform that we're on?
This is the guy that you see in front of you, who is currently smoking like a full pipe.
Can I start working on accessing his bank account?
Oh god,
okay.
he's here to hunt an endangered species.
Yes, he is.
You start scanning him and trying to access his bank account, and the very first thing that pings for you is the name Lord Nigel Braithwaite.
Oh god, no.
And the number attached to that account is in the trillions of credits.
I mean, he
You
won't
cannot
miss a
hope
few.
to touch that fortune.
Damn it.
You watch as one of his manservants runs up beside him, whispers something into his ear. By Jove. Looks around. Ah, you! Little lesbian, he says, looking at Pandora. Yes, are you trying to access my bank account?
No. Yeah, you look like you had. I was just curious.
Whatever you get, you can keep. Turns back around to Acosta. So, are we doing this or what?
I was more trying to flip you off because you very racist. Like that was racist of you to assume.
Racist. My boy, I've discovered more races than anybody out there.
And they're all inferior to me.
Just because you.
Well, I can't help that, he says to Pandora.
What are you hunting?
Not the human race specifically, just me, a perfect specimen.
The most dangerous.
Strength saving throw.
Oh,
my god.
Strength saving throw? Okay.
Oh, you're about to assault fucking Jeff Bezos.
Jeffrey.
I get a servant to bring me some popcorn, and I sit down on the sand next to what's going on.
I sit next to
I
V.
invite. Yeah, I was gonna say I invite Pandora over.
Yeah, no. Now that I'm his,
It's 28.
I'm his video manager now, and I'm live streaming this whole thing to his account.
What are you trying to do, may I ask? Casa, what are you trying to do?
I was gonna force push him.
Force push him? As you kind of half turn around, you blast out, and you watch as he rocks back a little bit. He goes, turns around, looks at you. Was that you?
He was just gonna walk up
Yeah.
and pick up the gun cases.
I'm sorry, lad, I wasn't paying attention at the time. I thought that a strong breeze had come through. Try again.
Oh my god.
Keelo's gonna walk over, pick up the gun cases, and start walking towards the hotel.
Second sprint saving throw.
Your gun cases or his gun
His
cases?
gun cases. Mine are all on me.
You touch and immediately there's just an electric shock that goes through you.
Did you not want these cases carried for you?
Oh, please, help yourself.
Please deactivate your security.
It's good. You're fine.
Super blatant.
Go to the hotel.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. So you're doing it again, Acosta?
Costanza, get
Okay.
over here. We have popcorn.
24. Rock him back a little bit, and he goes on his back foot. Well, you certainly have the touch in you. You did the pushy blasty thing. It's been a long time since anybody hit me with one of those. Can I do is it my turn now? Or are we taking turns?
Make him bleed.
Sure, take your turn.
Not too much, please.
Stop.
We just
We
fixed
gotta
him.
end the, no, we gotta end the session with them unconscious.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hero. Trust me, I do pack a bit of a punch. And he picks his arm up, and you hear. And he's gonna go for a swing.
Has a mechanical wind-up arm.
You know how when there's like action going on in movies, you eat more popcorn? That's me right
18
now.
to hit.
No, I'm taping this for like World Star for sure. This is going straight up on his channel.
Costa, 18 to hit.
Yeah, no, I was in that battle stage. I would have been in that battle stage. Would have bumped up my AC.
Okay. He swings, like he's not really aiming for you because he's assuming that you're going to stand still as you kind of like just sidestep his swing. And as it passes by your face, you hear a loud poof as he breaks the sound barrier for a moment and pulls his fist back. Well, I wasn't directly anticipating that you would move. I thought you had some honor in you. Gotta push the button when you speak.
That's my fighting stand.
Oh, this was part of your little ditty that you do. Is this like a little did thing?
No, this is more of like you have to hit.
My mistake. Would you like me to try again?
Yeah, one more before we
Okay, sounds very
take
good.
our separate ways.
22.
I approve.
22, yes or no? Acosta, 22, yes or no?
No, I'm gonna shield that.
You're gonna shield it? He comes in, and you boom, bring up the shield, this psychic energy barrier, and looking at him, this decrepit old man, there is a flash in his pupil for a second as it right through the shield, boom, right in your fucking chest.
Oh no!
Did he counterspell?
Only 15 bludgeoning damage, and yes, he counterspelled. You feel a rib crumple. Not great, not break, just crumple. As like, okay, I'm fine. And he goes, well, you certainly took that punch well. I've killed a rhinoceros with that right hook. You're clearly not familiar with me. I take
I'm
it.
not, and you're clearly not.
Children these days don't know what they're doing. May I please introduce myself? I am Lord Nigel Braithwaite. Nope, still not recognizing.
Can I history check?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I also history check?
Go for it.
Can I ask him if he
Oof.
wants to be my sugar daddy?
Go for it.
Stop! What is wrong with you?
Do you ask just like that?
What? Yeah. Are you?
Do you want to be my sugar daddy?
Sugar daddy?
Make a persuasion check.
Isn't there a Braithwaite Glass campaign?
There was.
Sig 21 V. You've heard the name, even with an 8. Sig 21. Lord Nigel Braithwaite, the man, the myth, the legend. A galaxy-renowned adventurer, big game hunter, trillionaire, and war hero. with the legend starting over Azimir, killing a swarm berserker in single combat at 15 years old, warring with the Veskarium and the Void by the time he was 25, the benefactor and personal trainer of Devoted Helix, the team famous for closing the Dark Scar and stopping the incursion of the Void, hunter of the great star worm Jor Akaontal, which is the worm that woke up when the Tribunus caused a schism, slayer of the Corpse Fleet dreadnought Midnight Tempest, savior of Galavas Sigma, Lord Braithwaite's 140 years of action now are beginning to wane to a close, even with the cybernetic augmentations and technological injections he has received to extend his natural life. Even still in his old age, this old war dog isn't going down without a story to be told, and has made it publicly known he will keep on exploring until something better than him kills him. Though, some other factions report that Braithwaite is a sham. A man who has made his riches off exploiting tax loopholes, selling worlds that were already inhabited, and taking credit for events that he was not part of. His army of lawyers, though, keeps that kind of thing on the hush-hush.
But we don't even know whether or not he's fucking
He
Gilderoy Lockhart.
is in a lot of pictures that would indicate that he was there for pretty major events, but if he participated is unknown. Well, I apologize for my rudeness, good chap. What is your name?
Acosta.
You've accosted me.
No, my name.
I love it. Never change your name. Never let any white man come down here and try to colonize you. Don't let it happen. Turns to Pandora, who's like, "Do you want to be my sugar daddy?" He goes, "Ah, you were the lesbian, right?"
Not exclusively.
Not exclusively. Very exciting. Life is about tasting all the different kinds of meats. It is better to keep an open menu. To answer your question, maybe.
Nice.
Turns back around.
I'll continue working at that bank account in the meantime.
How do you feel about harems?
Like the regular harem or like reverse harem?
More like, how do you feel about being one of several hundred women?
I mean, I'm not jealous unless that's the kind of thing you're into.
I'll send you my business card. Turns back around. You're a good boy. You're a Zendias then, yes? How long have you been practicing the arts? Your mystical monk shit. Wumbo jumbo.
Would it be close to like a year and a half?
Couple of years. So like 2 years, 3 years.
I would say that to him.
Your journey has only just begun. Why, I remember when I met the first Grand Master of what would become the Tribunus. He was a very bad arm wrestler, let me tell you. So, you'll be staying here at this establishment, you can afford it?
We've actually been invited on our honor.
Yeah. V. Look in the Roll20 attack log.
I should have rolled it with advantage.
Who are you here for? May I ask you again?
Even like that.
I can have two.
Good boy. Who do you hear on behalf of?
I'm with the Finders Keepers.
I'll pipe up from the sideline and say,
We are currently supported by the Starfinders.
Oh, I have heard of you. I read the paper. Not that anybody prints on paper anymore, but I own a forest and I make sure that I get the paper every morning. You're the people that dicked around with Fadari Station.
Not so much.
It's pretty accurate, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. I knew Madeline Fadari. She was an interesting character. It's named after her, you know, it's a name.
Yeah, she was the dead person on our ship.
That's a shame, but that's how many ships end up. Some of the best, some might say. So, how long will you be staying on the premises?
Not sure right now, but until we solve this case, none of the bad guys.
Oh. Or a bit of a hunt, you say?
Yeah, kind of have
and we're hunting individuals.
Oh yeah, like people.
Jeeves cancel my plans! Acosta, I will happily take on your request to sponsor the Finders Keepers. For now.
Oh god, this is escalating quickly.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you're hunting the most dangerous game. How could I not be part of this?
I might have something you would be interested in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a vending machine.
No,
Oh, you move. That is fascinating.
Casual burns.
He walks up and just knocks on your armor, puts his ear to it.
I just knock back.
I hear the ocean.
I hear the faint, sad gurgling of a Kalo. I remember your people. I remember when you were still legal to hunt.
Oh,
God.
You don't remember that there was ever a time you were legal to hunt.
I mean, Sig is a hunter himself, so he's like, whatever.
How is your shark god doing?
Good, actually. God,
That is good. Didn't help the last guy, but I hope he helps you.
Well,
I'm going to assume that it's also not a vending machine, he says, watching as Kilo walks away.
No, he is a robot.
It doesn't work for the property. He's with you. He's one of the finest keepers.
Yes.
Very
but
good.
Speaking of the hunt and hoping my god helps me with it, and Sig will show him the image of the beast. I am hunting
You're
beasts.
hunting the Evermore.
Yes.
Your group gets more and more interesting by the second. We should have dinner together, and we're going to enjoy it together. How do you feel about Monkey Brain?
Oh god.
Was this
Me
what
too.
you needed the shrink ray for, or is this different?
Now the shrink ray, pink ray. Just shove it in the box until it fits, is what I say. If
Makes
you're
sense to
hunting,
finish the monkey brains.
I have words for you, young man, young fish, whatever you want to identify yourself as. The Evermore is not a hunt to be taken lightly. I spent many of my midlife crisis years obsessing myself over it. That's how I got this arm. You're walking a dangerous path, and I like it. I like the cut of your jib, not that I can see it. You... Pause one moment. Turns around, looks at Rin. Takes up his glasses.
I've still just been sitting here watching Acosta and him.
Yeah, there's like a group of us all sat in the sand watching the fight between him and Acosta.
He brings up his glasses, looks at you, Rin.
Also Syndias.
He goes and like pushes where your nipple would be. And just kind of feels around the area. And then he starts going under the panel and clicks something, and your chest compartment begins opening up. We carry around mementos in there, do we?
Yes, those are my insides. Thank you for noticing.
That's not your inside, he says, pointing at the blade that you carry around inside your chest.
I realize, but I'm being facetious.
And he doesn't care.
I'll take it out.
Yes, that is a smart trick. To keep a second lightsaber.
He doesn't ask, he just goes to take it.
I'm going to let him have it and exude rage.
Okay, takes a look at it. Ignites it.
Fuck! There's no way!
Well, almost anyone can ignite a source blade.
Oh,
whether or not you
only
can use it
Syndias-
right. No.
I thought
only Syndias can
Syndias
attune and use the powers, but any asshole can swing one.
Oh,
I even lit up a source blade earlier to get
Yeah.
Acosta out of the slime.
Right.
That's true, I forgot.
Only the one that V seems to have some kind of lock on it that identifies something. But he takes the blade and ignites it. Ah, yes. What a curious little trinket. And he starts using the plasma blade to draw a smiley face in the sand made of glass, because it just burns it immediately. Ah, very good. And then he just signs his whole name onto the sand. Ah, beautiful. My mark left on this land forever. Closes it, flips it around, hands it back to you. It's very well balanced. Whoever gave that to you sniffs it. All of a sudden, just sniffs it. Ah! Ha ha! Inherited through murder. Here you go.
Okay, hang on a
Yeah,
second for this.
I like the cut of
Yikes.
your jib as well.
Oh, do I have anything I can do to this man?
It's the laws
I don't
of the
think
universe. If it's weaker than you, you kill it and take what it is.
I'm taking a photo of his signature so I can forge it later because I'm pissed.
I don't have anything good. I'm going to on the like while I'm taking it back, I'm going to swing it as though I am cutting off his head, but without igniting it.
Okay.
Like, or rather, I should correct myself. I'm igniting it, swinging it, deactivating it as it crosses a vital point, and then activating it again on the backswing, and see if he flinches.
Okay. He turned around in the middle of that and didn't even pay attention. He's already looking at Costanza. Oh, tieflings, how I love your people.
I'm just going to turn over to
Brings
Acosta.
his arms out and says in flawless infernal, may the light of all 9 hells guide your way.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, you're very welcome. You speak very good common.
I'm gonna turn to Acosta real quick and just say to him.
I knew that was coming. Like, why die?
What are you gonna say to Acosta?
I'm gonna turn to Acosta and say,
So I'm taking the way of the black now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He turns around and looks at you and says, "That's kind of racism isn't appropriate in a place like this." And looks back to Costanza. Wow. You don't see many of your kind out and about anymore. How do you feel about that? You used to be hunted quite a bit. Not by me. I have much respect for your people. Know many devils myself.
Made deals with those.
I know, then he deals with me.
He hunted fish people, but he wouldn't hunt devils.
All of us have to have a line we can't cross.
Your standards are astonishing. My goodness.
Sorry?
Your standards are astonishing, too.
Some might say understandable. Is that a word? It's a word now. He starts typing in his phone. You see a ping on the Webster Dictionary. There's been an update. Understandable. He just added it to the dictionary. There we go. Well, yeah, I like my word better.
Okay.
Turns around, looks at Costanza. Have your horns been injured?
Yes, we fight a lot of people.
Completely ignores you, starts fishing around in like his little toiletry bag, pulls out a cream, and just offers it to
I'm
you.
not letting him touch me.
He's not touching you, he's offering you the cream, like a container.
What
he likes
that?
you.
Just once per day applied to the horns.
I'm gonna read it and like.
No, there's nothing to read on it.
Okay. Why do you have this?
I will just keep a vial on me, just in case. Like I said, much respect for the people.
Just in case you randomly run into a rare tiefling?
Yes, very much so. I mean, not entirely. I have 7 in my harem.
Oh!
They're typically very needy. So, you know, keep things on hand.
Okay.
And immediately whips around to look at V. Nishud. You're far from the prepotency, my friend.
Yeah, I am. Haven't been there in a while.
Has anybody tried to kill you for your eyes yet?
What the fuck? Is that something people do?
Oh yes, very much so. It's a booming market right now.
That is scary.
Okay, well, and now you've been warned. Somebody's going to try to hunt you for your eyeballs at some point.
Okay, just as long as
Not
it's
me.
you.
I've gotten enough of those eyeballs.
Okay, I didn't need to know that.
Oh, no, not like illegal murder. It was border skirmishes. You know how it is.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm not uncomfortable at all now.
He puts his hands on his hips, sensing a general atmosphere of discontent and malfeasance.
Rin is trembling.
I like you all already. I'll see you all for dinner then, yes?
Yes.
Sure.
Very good, very good. I will be... Well, I've just arrived, so I'll be here for... until I'm done. I can just do what I want. I'm rich. I'll be here until I'm done. And we'll meet up a couple of times. We'll chit-chat, have some coffee, have some dinner. Meet you tomorrow night then. I'm sure you'll be enjoying your day tomorrow doing your adventure things. Wait, what did you say, Acosta?
I have a question for you. How did you do that trick where I put my mental block up and you still punched through it?
A classic blunder. See, the Lashunta lie on the weakness that is the mind. They've strengthened their mental faculties because they were too weak to survive on the death world that is Castrobel. So instead of just simply growing stronger, they tried to make themselves smarter and act through telepathy. Now, this eye that I have installed in my head was taken from a race that was known for eating telepaths. So every now and then, I can really hurt a psychic.
And it only works on psychics.
Typically, your power comes from psionic nature, so yes.
Cool, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. If you need to be hit again, simply let me know. And to establish you are a Costa, points to Costanza.
Call me Underlady.
Are you royalty?
That's a good
No.
question, actually.
You're not royalty, but you prefer the title of Underlady.
Yes.
Well, I think the current one's going to be a little upset about that and can just write something down in his notebook. I did not realize that Cyanin had 2 Underladies active right now.
Would I know anything about this?
Nope.
I won't acknowledge.
I know you won't. Underlady goes on to Sig.
Sig,
very good. Writes this down in his notes. Goes on to Pandora. Little lesbian, what's your name?
Pandora.
Pandora.
And I'm more of a
I love it.
pansexual. Also,
Pandora the pansexual.
yes. You know.
What happens if I open up your box? Turns,
Oh,
keeps turning,
God.
looks at V.
Yeah. Just call me V. Way easier.
Oh, trust me, I can handle the names.
Vanteril TCL.
I knew it. Writes it down. What the fuck does he know? It turns and looks at Rin.
R1N.
Do you prefer it pronounced like that?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
R1.
for my friends.
Very good.
I
Well,
didn't say
I'm
that
going
last
to head
part.
inside. It is quite hot up here. I am in need of an iced tea. If there is anything you need, I will find you. And he turns and just starts marching off inside. Oh, what's the name of your other friend who took my bags?
Kilo.
Kilo it is. And continues going away. You watch as he reads the notepad over once, twice, 3 times, and then just tosses it into the water. Keeps going. You guys
I'm
have
going
now
to murder that
Lord-
man.
You guys have now met Lord Nigel Braithwaite on the planet of Kabarat. And tomorrow you will go and hopefully meet up at the university. But that is where we will call this session.
Wait. Before you call the session,
Okay.
everybody, let's all beat up Acosta so that he falls unconscious.
Quick.
There's been one session where he didn't, I swear.
Across the island, across the walkway that gets you to the hotel, Lord Nigel Braithwaite waves. It was a pleasure meeting you. Acosta, I'll see you soon, good lad. But show me your skills. You watch as he picks up a skipping stone and just whips it, and it skips. Seems to get faster as it's skipping across the water until cracks you right in the forehead. Acosta, instantly taken off his feet, hits the ground. He calls out across the water, I thought he would try to parry it.
V just sort of picks him up, puts him over his shoulder.
This
yeah,
is
let's keep
normal.
going.
And that...
Could I have carried that?
Acosta, you will rouse on the way back, but I have to knock you out once a session. And that is where we will end this week's session.
Yay, mini sets.
See you all in 2 weeks.
Which ended up just being a session.
Oh, you're not going to be here for the next session?
No, I will not.
Sorry. I'll have some stuff for you to do on the side, just to, so you're not useless. But we'll pick up with a couple of things, and next week we'll pick up going to Kabarat University. But until next time, guys.